I received training when I was younger. As soon as my mentor, Garrick, found out about my abilities and circumstance. Sometimes I still wonder where he's at or if he's alive. I don't know. I still don't understand why. What made him help me or how he even knew my family at that time. And I knew a lot of the stuff that he did, the contract work. But this is big, or at least the biggest. I guess this is a way to start, but I'm not sure who would really pay for a creature like that to get rid of it, because the lady of the church doesn't want anyone finding out, which is fair enough given everything else strange is going on. But these creatures, they're separate from whatever else is happening. They're not really highly intelligent at all, but they can easily paralyze somebody that's alive and still kill them whether or not they're dead. Cillian and I managed to go to the tower.
I think I'm reaching Amrita a little bit better. Not good, mind you. I don't think anyone can. But a bit.
He was lying about something, but I didn't press him further about it. Not my business.
It's a few steps in the right direction.
Casper fellow, not really sure about him either. I think the others think that there's something strange with him. I don't know. We were too focused on trying to get some knowledge, and then we happened upon that book. That name that is similar to the alchemy book that I have. But Stitchers, I don't know a lot about them besides what Garrick had said, and it's quite disturbing at the time. Still is.
Me and Val went to see the doctor. There's still something about him. He's weird, aloof, mysterious. But I think at least most of his heart's in the right place. He genuinely wants to help. And if Val and Acrio want their arms back, he might be the only option. At least here.
I'm trying. I really am. I don't want to be here. I don't want any of this in my life, and that dream has me on edge, and those nightmares that Lorelei projected a while back. It's just, none of it's good to me. None of it's great. Still need to talk to her at some point, I guess, if we'll be traveling longer than expected. It's the only chance to survive, get where I'm going, out of here.
I'm not looking forward to the near future. Pulling this thread we've been following, it might just lead to trouble. But I think we have to protect the children here, to protect everyone.
Now I have gone away to Casper's home at the moment. I don't know why, maybe just because I needed a breather. Someone else to talk to that's not in the freaking group.
Amrita, your ears ring with the sound of silver blade on metal, iron, the snow falling, almost blinding you from above as you're staring up. Repellum holding his arm out in front of Vilvi's blade as she withdraws slightly, commanding him to back off. I have made a judgment of this murderer, this monster. I think this is hardly the time for judgments.
She isn't wrong. She's not wrong. What I did was unmistakable.
Vilvi grabs Repellum by his hunched shoulder, trying to shove him out of my way, or you will be the first one I go through. Freak! You see Repellum stand, crouching slightly, but not removing his arm from between the two of you. And I'm afraid that's the only option I'm allowing right now. And Amrita, you watch as Vilvi raises her sword, but then lowers it again and shakes her head, walking off into this blizzard.
Rita curls in on herself, just being drenched in her own blood at this point, not getting up from the ground.
This weird, misshapen hand, the one on his left that has not been covered in this weird plated black iron, reaches down for you. I can't have you freezing in your own blood.
Don't offer me your hand. Just don't. Why did you stop her? You shouldn't.
Pure pragmatism. You see, we are on the side of a mountain in a blizzard, the deep end of the Hunter's Moon in Stinzia. If you die, we all die out here. Now get up.
Gulping, she hesitantly takes her friend's hand.
He's not very strong, so he can't really pull you up. His arm's somewhat malformed, but it is a brace. It's something to hold on to in this moment. His one good eye, his deep green that you can see even in the midst of night and through the snow falling around you, glances up. And besides, I have a feeling Miss Fenwick would not want anyone else to die on her account. Even still, you hear this kind of metal jangling on metal as he reaches into his side satchel. Just as you're trying to speak, this voice shouts out from the small hut nearby where all the bloodshed occurred. The new voice you've heard a few times from Isabella's manor. Just say, Master, there's something going on with Lorelei. Repellum quickly shifts that direction. As Lorelei, you have sunk into this tub of somewhat soapy water. You feel this woman's hand holding a sponge, but her fingertips kind of trace over this scarred pattern on your upper chest. Is this some kind of angelic thing?
Yeah.
It's actually really pretty.
It's very useful too.
Is it?
Very much so. They're angelic seals. Little emblems of power.
She's intrigued by this, but Samantha quickly gets this look of shock on her face as she pulls her hand out of the water, and there's these white, like a clump of white hair, and she's just, oh, by the angels, I'm so sorry. I thought this was clean. I'll take care of this immediately.
I'm going to quickly look to where my stitches were.
You find the bracelet has turned completely white, and all of the hairs that ran up your arm through all these claw marks, these rends in your flesh, has entirely dissolved, leaving only the scars.
She will just clamp her hand over the bracelet and be like, oh no, sorry, that's me. It's fine.
Are you sure this is... You've got much nicer black hair than this.
There's one patch, like, right at the back of you can't really see it.
All right, I'll take your word for it. Again, I'm sorry though. I'll clean this up real quick.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
What has Asuriel been up to?
Well, she also took a bath. No accompaniment necessary. Then I think Acrio wanted to do the same. Also wanted to clean his armor, so she's probably just hanging out with him while he cleans the armor.
Does she hang around while he bathes?
Yeah, I was like, hopefully he's
No.
not.
No.
During that
She
time,
doesn't
what is she doing?
She's probably just staying downstairs, looking at people, not doing much, just observing.
You still have this irrational but mouth-watering craving for this cheese that you're smelling in the Brass Bell Saloon, now devoid of its namesake bell. But the aroma is still kind of permeating this place.
She kind of looks at whatever meal's passing with like these big eyes, like, I want some of that, but then she kind of forces herself to look away. It's like, don't eat the evil cheese.
You can audibly hear your stomach growling.
She just sinks down in her chair.
Amrita, you're outside Casper Lowe's house. The young girl Myra kind of seated next to you as she's a little confused, trying to kind of make small talk, but not really sure why you're here. And you seem a little bit off to her. Just not because of any particular reason, just you can tell that she can tell that there's something wrong.
I know that when we were in that cave and we had inquired you before, you really didn't know what that woman was doing, did you?
It's so hazy, I can't. It's part of me, I think I did know a little bit, but it just seemed so different at the time. Just nothing was clear. I thought she was helping. You ever had times like that when just you don't know what to do because nothing seems right, but you feel like you gotta do something?
You know, it's funny. Anybody else I'd probably say no to, but it's hard. It really is. I don't know why I just decided to come to you. It makes it easier, I guess. I just wanted to say
whatever you need.
Well, I'm not a people person, as you can clearly tell, and I have.
That's fine. I kind of get shy around people sometimes too. But Cillian, he seems really nice. And Casper, I think he's a good man. Cathars are supposed to be, right?
Amrita finds herself biting her bottom lip. I'd like to think so with some people, but I just seeing as we helped you get here and helped the kids, it's probably best that you're on your toes, but Myra, I think there's something weird going on, and I'm not 100% sure, none of us are, but just be wary while staying here.
It's nowhere safe.
I wish it was. I remember a time when I was in a place away from everything, away from the world. It was quiet, peaceful, nothing.
As you're saying this around the corner, you start to hear this loud thumping, as it sounds like.
Jakey scared the dog.
The dog starts
Danny, it's
barking
okay.
down the
It's okay.
street. As there's, sounds like somebody's beating on Casper's door.
Amrita quickly gets up and she will look around the house, but try not to be noticed.
Sure, make a stealth check.
Can I use my inspiration to reroll that?
If you really want to.
Yep. Phew.
Okay. The owner of this dog kind of like grabs it by the scruff of the neck and pulls it off. So you had thought maybe it was going to start barking in your direction, but then as he redirects it, you kind of press yourself against the wall of this house. Peering around, you see this old woman, thin and wrinkled, kind of hair that's done up but very disheveled. Nicer clothes, but similar to Lorelei's, they're worn and kind of tattered. And she has this, cloak with a rather large hood, but you can see this gray hair stringy kind of around her face as she's beating on Casper's door, calling out his name. And this is who you see.
Excuse me?
You!
Run! Everybody run!
Oh, rage.
She does not seem to notice you. Rather
Amrita.
focused on calling out for the captain of the Cathars.
Amrita will back up and look over at Myra.
What? Who is it? Is it that woman again?
That woman. How many times has she come to this house?
Almost every day, sometimes a couple times a day, or she stops Captain Lowe in the street sometime. They argue.
Do you know what they argue about?
She says something about her son. Her son's missing or something like that. She thinks that Casper ought to find. He doesn't think that it's. He doesn't seem to think it's a thing. I don't really know the situation.
Go back inside and don't answer the door. I need to go.
Okay.
I need to go find the others, and just don't answer the door. Trust me on this, please.
All right. Okay. Oh, I won't. I don't have a key to the back door. I'll just have to wait till she goes, I guess.
Yeah, just wait till she goes.
It takes some time of this woman kind of yelling herself hoarse until she realizes that she's not going to get an answer and huffs off. You peer around the corner watching her as she goes, pulling her cloak around her. She seems a little obviously nervous and skeptical, I think is the best way you could say, with your passive insight.
I think she's gonna try and follow her briefly, and if it goes wrong, try to run away or duck in a street.
Mm-hmm. You can make another stealth check. Still pretty decent, although you're a little more in a rush to follow her. She's not moseying down the road, and you can feel your heart rate increasing as you follow the former burgomaster Jan's wife down the street of Silburn until she takes a corner down this alley, kind of in the shade. It's a little darker, but it's still midday, and your eyes have no trouble seeing as she moves behind a few things and down another little crevice into this doorway. You see her look both directions. You have to duck back before she catches sight of you. You're fairly certain she didn't. And as you peek around, you start to see the doors close. She walks up these little small set of steps into this brick house. It's a little bit in need of repair. And this is obviously a side entrance.
I move myself here. Does it look like there might be another entryway?
You can circle the house, and yeah, obviously there's the front door. This building looks like it's probably got multiple rooms, kind of an apartment flat, I suppose you could say, but it's in the kind of the rougher area of, well, that's kind of hard to determine because Silburn in general is kind of in a state of disrepair, but this place is even worse. Kind of this rows of track housing.
I think she'll try. Can she try and sneak up to one of the windows to see if she can hear anything crouched down?
Sure. This is a multi-story house. As you do, your ears are pretty advanced. You don't pick up anything other than very vague movements. Make a perception check.
Shit.
You hear creaking boards. It sounds like stairs, but you're not sure if they go up or down.
I think for now, even though she's tempted to go inside, she'll back off and take note of what she's found.
Mm-hmm.
And quickly pace the town in general in another direction, seeing if she can find anybody out and about.
Just up and down the main street, quick steps with long legs. You seem to be surrounded by unfamiliar faces in the crowd of people moving to and fro, more dogs barking, cattle and horses that are moving through the streets. After some time, a couple paces back and forth, heading toward the chapel at the north end and then back down, you see Cillian and Valerie stepping out of this little, which you first might have mistaken for a shop, but you quickly realize is the doctor's office.
Yeah, I almost say she'll like almost bump into them in like her rush for a brief second, just like, oh.
You're looking worse than normal.
I saw someone. It's a lot to explain because you wouldn't know and only really. I'm trying to remember. What did we tell them? I don't remember. It's just like, never mind. Do you remember when Lorelei and I had mentioned that we knew the former burgomaster?
Yeah, you killed him.
Kosovo. Yes. And the cart on our way to Silburn, we found it, but his wife. I just saw her. I went to Myra briefly for something, and she said he's been cut. Myra told me that woman has been showing up at Mr. Lowe's house every day, something about her son missing. I tracked her, I followed her, and I found her in a rickety old building. But I didn't hear anything.
She's bad as him.
Is there anything that Amrita could recall with Jan's wife? Does she look like she had some similar disdain?
I mean, she was kind of a bitch, but you never really saw her do anything. You would suspect she would at least know something about the Veiled. If her husband was a member of this cult, it's possible, but that's speculation because it's obviously a secret cult, so people may keep that from their spouses. You don't know.
No, she was more of not a polite lady, rude in the slightest. I don't know if she ever knew what her spouse was truly like. Just speculation if whether or not she knew he was part of a cult, but Now it just makes you wonder where her son is as well. But I would like to know more because it's very weird.
Sure.
To me, it's
Let's
weird.
go.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the saloon then. From the others.
Yeah, why not?
Just scribbles down context, like looking at you guys with wide eyes, just like, oh yeah, we killed the burgomaster. It's like, okay, cool.
Crap. Amrita just like, grab him and let's go to the saloon. And starts walking the other way really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Don't worry, I did that on purpose just to frustrate her. I don't have much more context. I just know that happened.
Things are just...
Back at the saloon, it's easily apparent where Asuriel is sitting, dressed in her robes and silver white hair. She stands out. She's kind of sunk back against her chair, like forcing herself not to do anything almost.
Yeah, Amrita's gonna rush over to her real quick and just kind of like probably just grab like her shoulder briefly for a second, back away. It's like, hey, where's Lorelei and Acrio?
Huh?
Lorelei especially, where are they at?
They're taking baths.
I'll go knock on the door.
I don't know. Lorelei was in there with a lady, I think.
All the more fun.
No, you go check on Acrio. I will go check on Lorelei and knock on the door.
Fine with me.
Creep. She like goes.
Yeah, I'll go knock on Acrio's door.
You get no reply, but you put your ear up against the door and you can just hear this very faint.
All right, let him sleep.
Yeah.
You know, fat nap.
But yeah, Amrita goes and she starts like, hey, is Lorelei in there?
7 feet. Am I out of bath yet?
Probably by now, yeah. Your dress would have been basically cleaned, not too heavily because I didn't want to soak it, but a lot of the mud has been kind of cleaned off. The lower part is still a little damp, but for the most part, you can wear it without too much issue.
Yeah.
As you're getting dressed in this moment, Samantha has already left to let you do that.
Yeah, she'll just open the door to Amrita and be like, what's going on? Are you okay?
She was like almost relieved that like she doesn't see any other woman in there or anything, because she didn't want to see anything herself. But it's like, we'll talk about that in a minute. Just come on, and it's like, be glad Cillian is not the one who came and knocked on the door. He thought about it.
I walk past, coming back from Acrio's door, looking good. Go downstairs.
I just look at Amrita like, wow, thanks. Let's just go.
As her hair is all like wet and stringy down in her face.
Yeah, I'll just quickly like pin my hair up out of the way, just so it's not like dripping on my shoulders. Like, what's going on, Amrita? What's happening?
Amrita's gonna look up real quick, try to find them like a secluded spot to sit at, and like make sure no one's listening, and looks around.
At this time of morning, there's not a lot of people here. One of the reasons it's so easy to spot Asuriel. I mean, there's obviously the edges of the room if you want to move everybody to the side.
Corner booth.
Yeah.
Dibs. And I'll slide in front of Lorelei before she sits down.
Sit down. And unpin her hair and just flick like a bit of wet hair at him.
Yeah, sure.
Right, so Amrita?
Asuriel gets up and just slides in.
Yeah, Amrita she looks directly at Lorelei to say this. Like, she looks at the others too, giving them a glance, but it's like, Yon's wife is here.
No
I saw
way.
her. I tracked
No
her.
fucking way.
Yes.
Where?
The best part, I was there at Casper Lowe's house. Myra, she said that woman's been showing up to his house every day, knocking, inquiring about her son that is supposedly missing. I almost was going to go inside the house that she was in, but quickly came back here.
That could have ended badly. You don't know what she's mixed up in.
Or if she ever even knew who he really was, but we have to find out more because that's very weird. If she ever even knew what her husband knew to begin with.
I pick up Val's piece of paper with the word context on it.
The contact paper. Oh no.
Like to know a bit more about what they were involved in, because it sounded pretty bad, and if it's followed here, mixed up with all this.
All right, fine. When we arrived in Korsava, or shortly after, her and I met. I was with other people at the time. She motions like to her and Lorelei. We didn't know each other at the time, but Burgomaster yawned for some reason. Recognized my description and name, even though I'd never been to Korsava before. Long story short, he was a man that knew what I was and basically baited me there. I'm not going to explain the rest of that story because it's bullshit. Like, she's definitely like frames like it seems like it's a touchy subject. Actually, like her eye kind of like twitches on the left side and just.
Lorelei just reaches over and pats Amrita's forearm.
Yeah, she moves it away. Just like, anyway, we discovered that he was a part of some kind of cult known as the Veiled. Haven't really been able to get much more on that, but I think at some point... Actually, did we ever really discover if they were the same ones trying to bring back Riverax?
You did know that.
Yeah.
You knew that he was associated with the summoning of this devil. You would know during his time as the burgomaster of Korsava, he had been the one responsible for these public executions by way of burning at the stake for the most part. Mostly criminals, but also what became a criminal was kind of a loose definition. It was kind of a too regular occurrence. The people of Korsava obviously took issue with this, but the church didn't seem overly opposed to his activities. However, you do know that that is one of the reasons these ashen undead started appearing in the town, because cremation has negative effects. Why he would do that, what exactly the goal was, you never discovered why he was doing any of this. So it's still a bit of a mystery, but that's what he was kind of up to. He had his fingers in some other things as well, but those were the main things that kind of caused the citizenry to this kind of group of rebels who organized against his loyalists in the guard. Amongst them, Anna and Amel were kind of using the Frowning's Wrath as a base, and that's how you were able to come in contact with some people and ultimately assisted in a rebellion that led to his death.
Okay, yeah, that's like, look, in short, that was the same group that had brought Riverax about, and he's the reason why we saw all of that dead in Korsava and had to deal with them. He burnt all those bodies, and the church did nothing. He killed several people. And probably would have almost killed us as well.
And now his wife is here.
Yes, but as I said, it was mainly just speculation, and by the time that he was eliminated, his family had escaped and left. When I said earlier, Cillian, I didn't specify then, but those carts that we saw, I didn't mention it because at that time we were departing and I was hoping to find what I was finding here, even though I didn't. That was their cart. That was the Yon's carts when we saw those undead. Again, I failed with teamwork and mentioning such important detail, but
Well, it's basically who you
hard
are.
to say.
Doesn't matter.
it's hard to explain that, considering really her and I are the only ones that know details.
Maybe she's really looking for her son. Though, if those zombies were at the carts.
But that still doesn't mean she could be a good person. That's why I would like to find out more and try to sneak in there, perhaps, but there's too much else going on at the moment.
So much else. There's like 5 things we need to do.
We need to focus on the monster thing at hand first, though, because they're not really intelligent creatures, as I said, and it could be bad. Because if there's no more dead bodies for them to consume, they will try to consume the living. That seems high priority, at least in my mind, and could help us get some money, but I don't know who would really. Ugh.
Well, if you said that she's been going back to Casper's house every day, we might at least have a bit of grace period. It seems that she's persistent.
I just told Myra not to open the door and just stay hidden for now, but that's what she said. She was coming to the house every day looking for him or to speak with him.
If she sees you, is that a problem? Because this town isn't that big and it might just happen.
Lorelei too.
Both our faces.
Yeah, it won't be good.
You saw where she went?
Yes, I did.
A wide berth then. We'll need to wait for night anyway, if we're going to fight those things. We wanted to talk to Cooper. That's outside of town, probably. We won't see her there, I don't think.
Amrita, tell us more about where you saw her. Maybe Val knows something. He's been here longer than us. Maybe it's an area of the town he might know something about. It's worth a shot. We're not going to end up with less information than we already have.
Oh, yes. All right. She just kind of tries to think of the images and stuff that she saw on the different things. There's a corner here, northeast, there, building that looks like this. Do you know where that's at? Just kind of like describing the coloration and everything. It's like, I know everything is in disrepair here, but this place was really in disrepair. You can just point at it if it's easier to do than writing several words on paper, or draw a picture or something.
Would Val know of like a building that is shittier than the rest of the buildings here?
I mean, that's where she's describing is kind of this poor neighborhood in general.
Okay.
You've accompanied Dr. Mueller down to that area plenty of times because obviously there's a little more sickness that's rampant in that kind of living conditions. So you're familiar with it. I don't know that you would recognize the description of the woman specifically.
Would I know if the house was vacant?
Roll percentile for that.
Okay, cool.
So you know that there's a lot of like flats, multi-storied brick houses with smaller apartments within them. You wouldn't know how many of them have been rented out or not. Presumably it's being rented. Several travelers who do come through here, in the time since you've started, have used that as a place to rent for a little while. Although you've noticed that there are very few travelers that move through Silburn.
Okay. So it's more of a like people coming through, they rent that. So
I mean,
not for certain, obviously,
it's like there's a bunch of poor people who already live in it, but if there are rooms, they're available.
Oh, okay.
Sort of situation.
It's the Airbnb neighborhood.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Because as you found, the Brass Bell does rent out their rooms, but it's really expensive because they usually rent by the hour.
Okay. Cool.
So people who are staying for like a couple weeks don't want to pay that amount of money.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, then you just kind of nod that he knows the building. Kind of just scribbling down. Travelers usually stay there.
So that might be where she's renting then. If she's not staying with somebody.
Where would she even be heading?
Who knows?
It seems like she's looking for a son before she goes anywhere else. Wonder where he is.
Rita briefly thinks about that other person that she had heard muffled through the walls in Yellen's mansion before, but says nothing of it. Just kind of pondering.
Why would she keep thinking that Casper Lowe knows more about where her son is?
Don't know.
Cathar's usually run security. She might just expect that the manager knows.
Possible. To me, it means that it's no like zombie accident or something. People involved. Bandits, maybe?
Makes me wonder if he disagreed with what his parents were up to, and the first chance he got, he bolted. Wouldn't blame him.
Then why is she saying he's missing if he just left?
Maybe she didn't want him to.
Denial. But you guys are right, it's not the most important thing right now. It's just good to keep in mind. What's the time of the day right now, Jake?
It's before noon.
Long way to go till night.
Asuriel, you had promised the Bitter Hearts up at their little encampment, sort of, that you were going to provide some kind of like medical assistance and stuff like that. Whatever you could do, but you have not yet. Was that something she planned to follow up on, or was that kind of a tactic to get them to talk?
No, it was something she generally followed up on, but it seemed as if they didn't really want her there, so she's not sure.
So she's hesitant to actually follow through.
Yeah. She might in the end, though. She's like, there's so much shit going on, she's like, should I do it now? Lean over to Lorelei's. Do you think it's safe to go on the road right now?
Safer than when we got here, I'd say.
It's just... I told the Bitter Hearts I could help, but they seem reluctant, and I'm not sure if I should go there or not. Do you think I should still try to help?
Morally, yes. Logistically, I don't know if I'd feel comfortable letting you run off to anywhere on your own, really. Unless you took someone with you.
Is Asuriel whispering to Lorelei, or just sort of...
It's like a low.
talking?
There's like a low murmur.
Yeah, even if
Okay.
she
It's
was, it's, you're close enough you could
We're all
hear.
in a booth.
Okay, then there's this
Yeah,
like rogue piece of paper, like pushed in between.
Like, here's my
Like
business
just
card.
It's my
Yeah.
business.
like a strip of paper that reads, I can accompany you.
Well, what if Val's with me then?
He just kind of points at like the satchel with like medical stuff that he has carrying, kind of indicating that he somewhat knows what he's doing.
Perfect. Cillian could probably go with you three. And then she looks at Lorelei hesitantly, but like goes and like says, the two of us can go to Cooper, perhaps, or just go back to the church and look around the grounds.
Well, not that I'm so eager to pack Cillian off with Asuriel out of our hair, but weren't we going to get him to try and snoop around Cooper's while we were talking to him? To try and
Yeah, I think so.
find out more?
Amrita sighs. It's like, all right.
You could go
I'll
with
keep my
them.
mouth shut for like 5 minutes. That's better. I won't do more than 5 though. I think I'd explode.
Well, so it's probably best I don't go to the Bitter Hearts, considering what happened last time.
Yeah,
Fair
I don't
enough.
think I left the best impression either.
I don't think any of us did.
I mean, it was decent. It didn't try to kill us.
Val is just like scribbling because he actually never asked like what did you do, because that sounds like some shit went down. It's like,
Oh,
Grabs the paper
yeah.
back from Cillian,
Yeah.
just holds up context.
yeah.
You've got to keep that. You got to keep that one as like a card.
Yeah.
Get it, like laminated so you always have it.
I mean, you know what? Some answers are just best left unsaid. Let's figure this out now, and then if
Nothing bad happened. Nothing bad happened. It was fine. We reached an accord.
What kind?
Amrita's gonna crumble up the paper at this point, just like
Amrita, that's rude.
we are running out of time, and things are not good if that woman is in town.
Okay.
The sooner the better.
Maybe we can go with Acrio? Where is he anyway?
Look at Cillian, considering Amrita said that he was checking on him. Did you
Oh,
actually see where he was, or?
Well, he was sleeping, snoring pretty damn loudly. And it seems like he hasn't had any sleep for like 3 weeks. And
Yeah.
I wanted to let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I do want Acrio there with Cooper. If you
Yeah.
don't mind. I trust you guys, but you're just not... You two can't keep a conversation going for the time I need.
First of all, I already have a foot in the door with him. I had a great conversation with him. So rude. Second of all, you're right. I can't refute it. Realized I was going to refute it, but realized I couldn't.
Maybe I can just go with Val. We can take the horse we got from them last time and return it.
That might be all right. I could see that working pretty good in your favor.
Peace offering. There you go.
Yeah. Start off on the right foot.
Do
But
keep
if
your eyes
anything
open.
Yeah, if anything at all seems off, just make your excuses and leave. Okay?
Okay. Seemed pretty nice though, when they weren't trying to kill us.
Okay, but I want you to, if you get any kind of, any kind of little inkling in the back of your head, like something's not right here, just go.
There are also
all right.
people that will steal Val's supplies if they think they need it.
Don't
Val looks
worry.
very offended, like pointing at Cillian, like indicating that both of them are Vistani.
They're desperate. They're very fucking desperate. I just think keep an eye open.
Yeah, Val, only take as much as you can willingly part with.
thinks for a moment, more to himself. Is there like spare food that the doctor has? Like, he's not trying to fucking take a substantial amount, but a little bit for the people. If like they're not scraping by themselves.
Sure. Everyone in Silburn is actually very well fed. They get milk deliveries every morning.
Anything that is not cheese.
They got tons of beef and cheese and corn.
Okay.
There's plenty of food in town. Okay. People are not wanting for that.
Okay, cool. Then it'll just kind of pick up the crumbled piece of paper, kind of try to straighten that out because shit's more or less valuable. At least to him, he's gonna put that away and then just kind of wave for Asuriel to kind of follow. So kind of begins to make his way back to the doctor's house to get some supplies.
Scurry off after him, waving at Lorelei, saying, "You be safe too."
It's not me you have to worry about. And as soon as they leave, she buries her head in her hands like, oh no, what have I just agreed to?
Asuriel, do you plan on asking them if they know anything about this guy who's gone missing, whose name was never even brought up? And it was like, oh, maybe the bandits were involved, but we won't tell you anything before you go. And
yeah, she might ask, yeah.
She knows their surname, so you could
Yeah,
bring that up.
just use that, yeah.
Yawned.
Yep.
Hello, do you know a yawned man?
Yeah.
Now you find Dr. Mueller is, as normal, completely decked out in these dark leather clothing and gloves with this mask while he's seeing to a patient. You see him kind of like holding the guy's mouth open as he's observing inside with this lantern that's kind of a bullseye lantern. You see his head kind of briefly turn your direction. You can't really tell if he looks at you because the goggles are obviously obscuring his eyes, but he does seem to recognize when someone else walks in.
Yeah, he just kind of briefly waves, and then unless like the doctor stops him because he wants something, he just kind of moves past for now and gets some supplies.
Cyril will also wave at him.
He does not wave back as he obviously he goes back to work, focusing more on this person that needs medical assistance of some kind. Takes a moment of waiting, Asuriel, before Val comes back with this kind of wrapped up cloth full of basic, the least perishable food items that he can manage to collect.
Kind of just holding it, just kind of looking at Asuriel, kind of looking at the things before nodding.
Oh, that's a good idea. Where did you park the horse, though?
Val kind of just looks at her, indicating he doesn't have a horse.
Well, you and Frank had taken the horses that you got from the Bitterhearts, so yeah, you would have probably taken them to the stables.
Mm-hmm. Also, Val is kind of struggling carrying this whole bag of food with like one arm, kind of. He's managing, but barely.
She'll help. She'll take a bit off him.
As you're going out the door, the doctor looks over. Picnic.
Did Val hear that?
Mm-hmm.
With a
Val
bunch of
kind
other
of
people.
stop, kind of look at Asuri before setting down the basket and just very energetically like writing something on the paper, reading it's for those who need it, as he kind of stomps back, hands it to the doctor, and then just storms off again.
Dr. Mueller goes back to the patient who still has his mouth like wide open, he's like looking at the paper. Doctor doesn't take it. He just goes back to work and says, "You don't have to explain yourself to me.
kind of expression from being somewhat annoyed drops a bit, but he doesn't really do anything else. Just kind of picks up the basket and then just moves out of the house. And
even Asuriel can collect I think it was a pair of horses that were taken off of several of the bitter heart bandits. What is Asuriel's mental state, having kind of all of her experience that she remembers following Acrio around and several of the others whenever she's out in the wilderness? Now it's like she's kind of the one leading this. What's that like for her?
It's like first day of school for a little child. She's very excited and also very nervous. And there's just a mouse that runs across her path while she gets on the horse, and just kind of like and that is like, oh, everything's fine. Nothing's gonna happen.
How
as
old
you do that,
does Asuriel look?
We literally had this conversation yesterday.
Yeah. She looks like she's in her mid to early 20s.
Okay.
As you make that, sudden startled sound, as in the midst of the stables, you look up to see if anyone kind of heard that. You see Petunia look over, just
Everything's fine, Petunia. Don't worry. We'll be right back.
The horse is getting Amrita's attitude. Yes.
she goes back to munching on some oats.
Give her a pet. Then let's go.
I'm gonna have both of you make animal handling checks. Because neither of you have ridden a lot, especially not with the one arm.
Mm-hmm.
Asuriel, you take to it rather well, and these horses have obviously been broken in and not unfamiliar with being ridden without a saddle, so it's pretty easy. They do have reins, and it almost comes as a second nature to you. You're not sure, maybe you did a lot of riding back in whatever life you used to have. You don't know, but it feels very natural to associate with animals in this way. Valerie is clearly having a bit more trouble. You've got this basket of food kind of bundled up, and also having to hold the reins. You're kind of in the same hand, and it takes a bit to get the horse under control and moving in the right direction. But eventually it kind of follows after Asuriel.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he'll try his best to hold on and, not face plant off of the horse.
Manage to do that, though it is very difficult, and it's almost like your sense of balance is off. Like, you've ridden before with Vistani, but now everything is weirdly, obviously your weight is distributed to one side, and it just feels weird not able to control it with the two hands. You find yourself, as so often, struggling.
It's like turning the shoulder as if trying to reach for the reins before realizing there's nothing there, and then just having to shift back with this kind of strained expression on his face. But yeah, he'll try his best to push on. His expression is very much this I hate it here, kind of like it's almost bitter. So he kind of moves after Asuriel.
Difficult to see because so much of his hair fallen down in his face, covering the scars, and much of everything else kind of hidden behind this curtain as you just follow after her. Asuriel, this nervous excitement as you reach the gates, and they're opened up by the guards who don't have any reason not to. let people in and out at this time of day, and they swing open to the wilderness. It's mostly cornfields that you can see, but it's this open expanse, this threshold you have to step under and over into what is only vaguely known. You know where you're going, but what is out there and what has attacked you before still makes you leery.
There's no scary cats out here. There's just scary cow person. They'll be fine. She's gonna back at Val and smile at him, and then go look forward again. Look at the fields. Like, wonder if I used to be a farmer. And then she's gonna get her horse to gallop a bit.
The air is still humid. The mist has kind of burned off. The ground, though, is a bit muddy as it's still trying to evaporate and making the rising the humidity. But the rustling of the corn stalks and kind of the smell of it, it's very familiar. Something about being out in nature, but also man-made fields. There's a connection, Asuriel, that you can't place, but it feels home-like.
Oh, if only this place wasn't so scary. With weird cow people. It'd be so nice otherwise.
The two white-haired individuals make their way down the road and begin up the mountainous path. Meanwhile, Acrio, you hadn't intended to fall asleep in this bath, but finally getting a chance to unwind. You had gotten in and the water was really warm, and you were like focusing, and you were like had a mission to get done and clean your armor and everything like that. And suddenly, in the midst of that, you start awake and the water's kind of cold, and your right arm, where you usually have your shield, it aches. And as you look at the bandages, and they're soaked and still kind of blood stained.
He'll kind of clamber, well, not clamber because he's pretty fit, pull himself out of the bath.
You find yourself a little more heavy than you had been last week.
Yeah.
Or a little less defined.
Yeah,
in some areas.
I guess clamber is a good word because he is missing an arm and fatter. So really just bad things all around. So
you go to shave your face and it just feels a little softer.
So he'll awkwardly pull himself out of the bath, which is a process of going to pull him out with both arms and then like slipping back in and then like rolling up and out of the bath the next time. Redresses his bandages. He's competent enough to do that, but it's awkward only having one hand to do that.
Can I have you make a Constitution saving throw? What's your current level of supply?
I believe I'm running off my own supplies, and it's 3.
Okay.
Yes, I'm constitutous.
Maybe it's something about the boost to health and the way the food you had eaten here has affected you, but you find the stump of your arm is healed up pretty well. It doesn't look infected at all. It still aches, but it's where you had been afraid there might be an infection forming just due to the constant kind of low pain. It doesn't really look like it. There's no gangrene setting in or anything like that. It is kind of weird though. At the end of the stump, it's kind of bulged out. Like there's a little bit of extra fat there.
Yeah, I'll just be glad that it's healing and I don't have to get more of my arm cut off. is it like I should cover it up with bandages again, or like, oh hey,
Yeah,
wow,
it's not fully healed. Yeah, so you will need to wrap it as you
Okay.
had begun to
Yes.
do. But yeah, just notice it's not getting worse.
I will wrap it and then realize that I can't put my armor back on alone. So I will throw all my armor in my backpack, put on my regular clothing that I can get with one arm on, get my pants on, realize that I have to get the buckle with one hand. God have mercy on my soul. And then
Angels
head
too.
out. Yeah. Avacyn, have mercy on my soul, not God. There is no gods here.
Only old gods.
Yeah. And they're pretty shit, so. And away I go to catch up with whatever the fuck you all have been doing.
Amrita, Cillian, and Lorelei are in the main area of the Brass Bell Saloon, kind of this booth off in one corner, but you pick them out of the people who are starting to filter in now. You've realized it's already lunch, much later in the day than you had expected to be getting done with all of that. You never even had enough time really to work on your armor.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, before that happens, Amrita will basically try to get Cillian to leave to go check on Acrio, trying to maybe just say, how about, if you don't mind, Lorelei, perhaps the two of us can have a chat and we could meet Cillian and Acrio inside should Cillian need to check on Acrio again. If you said he was asleep.
Yeah, that's fine. No problem.
You got a girlfriend? And I'll leave them alone.
Let's wait for them outside, shall we?
Okay.
You have to push past a few people and kind of step out of the way as the saloon is filling up.
Sorry.
Amrita just goes and has the door open for them both to go out and just wait.
So,
finally a breather. Things have not been right between us for a long time. I don't know. Much clearer ahead when the others aren't about being pestering. Cillian especially. Basically, I'm just offering an apology, but as I said before, I'll continue traveling with them for a while, including you since you're also with them. Maybe the beginning of our companionship, whatever, could start over from here. Be difficult. And I still don't think now is the time for the Cathar to have any idea. Not now with the state he's in.
we're gonna have to tell him at some point. Asuriel had a good point. It's not right to really keep it from him, but it's yours to tell, not mine.
It didn't feel like that in the beginning. It hasn't. Do you know what it's like? She kind of has her eyes wander out, kind of staring off in the distance. And so many other people know a secret of yours, and when the one person in the world that you wish did know has no idea. I only ask that once we make it to the next location that you learn to let our journey end there. I'm asking kindly, maybe as a friend here, because I have a life and someone that I would like to get back to, and I would like to think if Lars was still alive, that I wouldn't prevent you from going off and being away with him, as I would want to be with mine. significant other as well. I'm tired, Lorelei. I'm very tired of traveling. And when you travel and she stares at her for a moment but stares away, travel and see a failure every day, a mistake of something that haunts you. It weighs a lot. I hope you can understand that aspect.
I do. It would hurt to part ways, but if I know that there's going to be someone on the other side of that that's looking out for you, then I can come to peace with that.
Some part of me still has doubt if you are the real Lorelei. She almost wants to say something in regard to the others, but refrains. And just kind of looks at the door expectantly of the inn to see if Cillian and Acrio come through or not.
Sleep well, Acrio.
I am wrinkly on every single part of my body.
Oh, gives you a nice look at the future. Doesn't look well, mate.
Oh, fuck off.
Anyway, some stuff happened. Not entirely too important to you. I think Amrita could explain it better. We're going to talk to Cooper. You in?
Yeah, I need somebody to help with the armor, though.
Sure. I gotcha.
Thanks, buddy. Jump out for amigo. It's not gay, they're just really good friends.
Yeah, Cillian is really straight.
Not gay if you say no armo when you're putting on someone's armor.
Yeah, so Cillian, I hope, helps Acrio put his armor on, and then they'll head on out.
I kind of peek my head out the door. Conversation done?
Yep.
Great. Let's go avoid a woman and go talk to a dickhead.
Who's this woman?
As they start walking and everything, Amrita will kind of explain. So you remember the sort of carriages we saw on the way to Silburn?
Yeah, the ones
yes,
we bring along with us.
Yeah, you hooked to the back of your cart.
Yeah.
And stole all their shit.
Yeah.
I didn't disclose the information at the time because it wouldn't have been really relevant to any of you, and besides, only Lorelei and I would have known, but that was the Burgomaster Jan's family's cart. And it appears that his widow is here and has been showing up to Mr. Casperlow's house every day, asking to find her missing son, according to Myra. I tracked her and found her house and everything. And Amrita just kind of goes explaining and everything, again with Jan, with being a member of the Veiled and Cult and the Devil of River Axe, but wasn't really sure if his wife ever knew that he was part of the cult or how much, but she was more of a prude than anything else. I still don't know if she was ever really involved with her husband or not, but it just seems all strange, and we might need to investigate that further, but Lorelei and I will have to be careful, because if she sees us, it will not be good, because she knows who we are.
That's a lot of information. I will trust that you two have it under control.
I don't.
I don't
Thanks.
need that.
Amrita whacks Cillian upside the head. Just focus.
You're getting more vicious with those, you know?
Just focus on getting inside.
Yeah, you got it.
What's his face's house when we get there?
Lorelei, can you give me a quick description of the house so I know where to enter?
She'll give the rundown of everything she remembers of it.
Yeah, I mean, you only went through the front door of the house, and
Yeah.
had dinner in the dining room, so you don't really have a floor plan or anything. You can
Yeah.
kind of describe the ranch itself, kind of the location of some of the buildings and stuff like that's out there, vaguely, but it'll be a little helpful.
Yeah.
Tell me specifically where you saw this cow individual creature. I'll keep a lookout just to be
It was
safe.
pretty dark, so I don't know if I could tell you exactly where it was, but she'll just kind of keep her eyes peeled for how far it felt like from the when we get outside of Silburn, like kind of how far along the path it felt before I saw this cow creature. I just know it was in the crops. Kind of came out.
Are the four of you staying together as you approach, or is Cillian trying to break off and sneak his way?
As soon as we get to fields where workers might be working and see us together, Cillian breaks off.
Sure.
Amrita, do we have anyone else that's stealthy in this fucking party?
Yeah, Amrita is.
What's your stealth?
I mean, she could go. My stealth is good, so.
Amrita, you want to do some reconnaissance as well? Me and Lorelei will do the talking.
Yes. Cillian, you could be the main one that goes in, but just in case, I would like to make sure that that cow thing might not arrive during daylight, but just in case. Better safe than sorry.
Whatever the case, we're in pairs now.
I'll stay close. I'll be moving fast.
Can I have one of you guys roll a 1d6 plus 4?
I'll roll it. I just got here and I haven't been able to roll. Oh wait, I rolled a con save.
Roll it
I'm
anyway.
gonna roll it anyway.
Yeah, you said you would, so suck it up.
Hey! I think that's good. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Extremities are always disconcerting.
So you've kind of made this plan to go in pairs as you're heading out of town, not really speaking to anyone or within what you think would be earshot as you're going down the main road. It's strange because as you ask for the main gates to be opened and the guy, starts to crank the deal that opens up the door, you just hear this strange, like, you would expect him to kind of like grunt in reply, but instead it's just like this weird.
See, I wasn't talking bullshit. It's really happening.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh dear.
And that is one of the Cathars, by the way.
Calthars.
Yes.
God fucking damn it.
Wow. Okay. Move on, please.
Right off the cuff.
Thanks.
Right. Well, before I start mooing like a cow, let's get this over with. Because I am most definitely getting fatter, and it is most definitely because of the cheese here.
Yeah, I'd had to push on some parts to get you into your armor.
Yeah,
Didn't want to say anything.
Shut up.
Some of the buckles where it's like the, you can tell where the leather had gone into the, buckle at a certain hole for a long time. Now it's like you can't quite get it to that one, so you just
it's gotta
move
be
it one notch off.
With that buckle holding on with a will and a prayer. Yeah, I will point out just the vague area where I remember the cow creature being.
I see.
Yeah, you guys are going through
the entire field.
Yeah, it is like this field over here on this side. As you guys are going toward the southeast end of town.
I was just in character going to ask them where the other two went off to do.
Oh yeah, they went to the Bitter Hearts to give them some medical supplies, take care of their wounds.
Right.
And bring the horses back that they took.
Good on them.
Yes.
But if anything happens to them, it's my fault for letting them go.
Yeah, they're not very set for the wilderness.
Well, Asuriel was going to go on her own, and I was like, please don't go on your own. And then Val was like, I'll go with her. And I was like, fine, go.
How did
And
Val
I'm
say
just so
he'd go
worried.
with her?
I don't know. I've said two very very delicate
Val knows his
creatures out
shit.
into the wilderness.
I'm sure they'll be
They're gonna be
For
fine.
adults.
Val's
Yeah,
been through a
we-
lot. He'll be fine.
We're more
If anything
likely to
happens, I'll
die
never
than
forgive
them.
myself.
But yeah, when we're passing the fields, Amrita will push up the headband and just kind of look over, like see if she sees any movement or notices anything.
There's a shifting, a swaying in the breeze. It's still really, really warm out, and on the distance, the horizon in front of you guys, as you look out, there's that kind of like wavy distortion of heat rising as the muddy path is evaporating. But you don't catch sight of any particular unnatural creatures. Passing through part of the field, you look out, you see these herds of cattle, several men on horseback, with one with a crossbow kind of across his lap, another one has a longbow just strung at his side. There are dogs that are kind of like running around them to keep the cattle all kind of in check, make sure none of them wander on this grassy hillside. And it isn't difficult to see off in the great distance the shape of a structure that as you approach, there's the multiple buildings and these beams with a iron header across it with this symbol that you've seen before branded onto cattle, this circle with an H in it, but the center line in the H is like an upward triangle.
Gross.
Amrita and I are in the field at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and as soon as Cillian spots, or Amrita would probably spot the dogs first, he grabs like some strong-smelling herbs from his supplies, and like most of the time it doesn't help much, but it can make the difference. Just rub them, make you smell less like human.
Help yourself.
You don't have wolfsbane on you, do you? Please, like, that's not good for me at all.
No, of course not.
Make a deception check.
And I'm
Yeah, she insights that. Like she's narrowing at like her eyes at him.
It's
Oh.
like you're still not sure, but he's pretty convincing.
I do
he's obviously-
put
he's obviously
those
not
herbs
offering
back
that
and
to
like
you.
make sure I grab some that are separated from the wolf's bane and give them.
Amrita, you do know from past experience the kindred spirit that you have with canines that has protected you in the past.
Okay.
So whether or not you want to accept these camouflage or not is up to you.
So I've been fine with that in the past. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, wolves generally, when you lived in the wilderness, you never had an issue with them attacking you. They're, more domesticated relatives, kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I think she'll put some like in her boots, but not really rub too much on there. Just like, okay, let's see how many there are. People might be able to easily get around the dogs. No issue.
I'll have both of you make stealth checks as you approach from a different angle, while Acrio and Lorelei take the main gate up to the ranch.
Yeah, we wait until Lorelei and Acrio have entered at least to approach the house.
Mhm.
But just lie in wake.
Just lean into Acrio like, so do we have a game plan and what exactly we're going to talk about, or is it just make nice?
Currently, the game plan is ask him what's going on in this town and pretty directly accuse him of what's going on. It's not going to go well, but worst comes to worst, he kicks us out of our house.
Oh, there's so
Best-
much. That's so worse than that.
No. Best case is they try and kill us, in which case they're definitely evil and definitely hiding something.
And definitely outnumber us.
You and I are blessed by the angels. We will have a chance. They are a bunch of field till pushing nobodies.
Don't insult my heritage like that.
What are they gonna kill us with a scythe?
Those are pretty deadly.
They're gonna...
Lorelei, you'll recall you were asked by Samantha to check up on her aunt. If you had the chance, the Cooper's wife.
Mm-hmm. I remember her name.
Yeah, we got
Agatha?
Regina.
No, Regina.
Oh yeah, we got to figure out about the her daughters first before we accuse them of corrupting entire
You could
town.
you could always start with like, hey, I'm a Cathar, was in the graveyard, heard about your daughter, sorry for your loss. Lead with that.
Yeah, we could lead non-aggressively.
Yeah. Good Cathar, bad Cathar?
Yeah, I guess we could bring up the whole, hey, we had to deal with... Did we deal with that yet?
We
What,
haven't.
No.
That's set for this evening.
We have not
Sundown.
touched the worm. The worm has gone unperturbed.
Could we
Yeah.
bring up the worm to him? Just be like, hey, this happened. We need to know about your daughter.
Yeah, but let's not lead with that.
Okay.
Let's make nice conversation. Give Cillian a chance to find something out.
Yeah, I guess we do have to kind of delay them for a little while.
If either one of us hears him with his creepy little fucking ghost whispers in the back of our head, then we'll know, hey, now we can start on the offensive.
Okay, I can work with this.
Okay.
I'm not in leader mode today. I'm brain scrambled.
It makes sense that we've pulled Acrio out of the middle of REM sleep. And he's just like, what is...
What? Is this World War II?
Is this real life?
Is this
Yeah,
just
well-
fantasy?
Knock, I guess?
Unnecessary as the pair of you walk under this, not quite arch, but these beams with the logo across the entryway to this ranch. It's a fairly wide open area with warehouses and farm storage buildings, that sort of thing. Lots of people moving back and forth. It's the calving season, so you can see a lot of people working with that sort of thing, and cows that are just being born and set out to pasture, and all that kind of work being done as you're moving through this space. The large whitewashed house with the porch on it, you can see several people sitting on the deck, and Lorelei, you're the first to recognize because you've associated a little more closely the thick mustache and the leather vest of Cooper Hillcrest. And as he's sitting there in kind of this rocking chair, you can see he's obviously stopped work for the day for lunch with several of the hands that work for him. But he's definitely in still like work mode. It's just obviously you can tell he's taking a break.
He's more like
Pretty
supervisey work mode at this point.
Kind of.
Yeah. I'll just like elbow Acrio a little bit, get him to stand up a bit more straight. Be like, Mr. Hillcrest, sir, good to see you again. Sorry to bother you.
Lorelei, it's no trouble.
This is Acrio Revito. He is a Cathar, a friend of mine, and he wanted to see the ranch, so I thought I would come and introduce him.
Well, I don't typically give tours, but Revito, I'm familiar with that name.
There's like
Oh,
a
whoops.
burning hatred in his eyes, but like a smile on his face. There's 1,000 yards, and that is 1,000 yards of death.
The smile doesn't go any higher than here.
Yeah, my family runs what are the fucking beer
Brewery.
places? Brewery. That's the word. Haven't been there in forever. I just push a hoe all day and get much into the barrel making and fermentation process.
You'd be the eldest son then, sent off to Cathar school.
That's cool. Not quite. He's still working the fields back in town, I believe.
You've met my son, Tuck.
Passing.
He was all prepared. Crossed the gyre when the accident happened. As you can imagine, Cathars don't take simpletons. It's a gift and a curse. Keep my family close. Out of danger, even still.
What happened to, I don't mean to be rude, I just had business in the gyre.
No trouble. Most folk around here know. Kicked in the head by a cow. Stupid mistake. But it is the hazard of the trade. He'll kind of like reach out. Please, if you need something to drink, it's a long walk out here. Don't see you riding.
Took a very long bath in a lot of water, and I got a lot in my system for now.
You don't want to drink the water out here. One of the farmhands will grab this pitcher of this kind of medium brownish liquid that has broken up ice in it, pour a couple glasses, and he'll bring them down to you.
Are we in the South now?
Are
we
we
have
in the
sweet
South?
tea?
It's lightly sweetened. There's not a lot of sugar to go around, but it is a little bit sweet.
Okay.
It's odd because you're used to drinking warm tea, and it's different, but
it's a Stensian thing.
There's not a lot of ice also. So that's kind of, you can tell it's the wealthier people are the ones who have access to that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take some, be nice, waste some time while Amrita and Cillian look around.
Which, speaking of, both of you are able to skirt these herds and the ranchers that are keeping an eye on them. None of the dogs seem to approach or take note of you. The fields out here are mostly tall grass, so you can keep low, and there are trees to duck behind. There are decent expanses where you have to rush across, but both of you are fairly quick and make your way around the backside of this ranch, which is fenced in with barbed wire, but mostly for the purposes of keeping cows contained or outside of the space, so you can both leap over it without a ton of issue.
When we approach, do we see a place where it would be logical for dairy products to be made? Is there like a side thing?
The first
like
thing
other
is the
buildings
smell.
for the house.
You definitely smell it. There is definitely a cheese processing sort of situation going on out here, in addition to the cow dung and leather works and all that stuff that you would associate with this ranch. But you find there's a grain silo, very old style. There are several buildings, and I think Amrita would have the best way to track down with her senses the origin of this smell. There's this large warehouse, relatively new construction, probably within the last decade. Red painted barn, very tall, not very many windows. Most of the windows are up high for like light to filter down.
That would be our first stop.
Yeah, she kind of looks at it, concentrating. I think so. There's not a lot to look through, but there's high windows. Does it look like, let's see. She tries to peek from wherever they're at, seeing if there's any people going in and out, or it just looks like there's general cattle in this area.
Make a perception check.
Okay.
At first, it doesn't look like it. It's kind of dead. You see most of the people off in the distance working on the calving process for several of the cows that are pregnant and it's in that birthing season. But after a moment, you start to see a few people who do move out of these doors that you can't see from this angle, but there is a bit of foot traffic, but not a lot.
While she's looking, I kind of want to turn to Reagan and say, do you feel anything off about this place?
Make an Arcana check.
Can I long-range human determination him?
You can't give that to other people anyway.
I know.
I'll keep my inspiration.
To be honest, Kill, it feels like a ranch. There's not
I was
any
afraid of.
geist out here. There's nothing.
All right. Guess we'll have to do the dirty work.
Alright, there doesn't appear to be a lot of foot traffic, but if we could somehow sneak in the door over there, go unnoticed.
Are they locking the door? Or do you not know?
Does it sound like there's any kind of clicking if she can't see anything when they go in and out the door?
With your perception, you don't hear a door opening or closing at all.
I can't hear any clicking sounds, so probably just
It's open.
more easily wouldn't.
Right. Let's go in quick. Get out quick. See if there's anything suspicious.
Alright.
Are you both approaching at the same time, or is one going to go and scout ahead?
Do you want to scout ahead, and then if something should happen, I can make a distraction?
Yeah, let's do that. Keep an eye out. Warn me.
Got it.
You probably know an animal noise, right? Make a
Yes.
weird one. I'll get out.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll approach.
I'm going to use the natural 20 because you're still in that mode.
Thank you.
Coming around the corner of this large red barn, tin roof, you can just quickly peek around. You see massive slide doors, easily 12 feet tall or more, 18 to 20 feet wide, that are just completely open. And you look around, you see a few people moving inside, going about their work. They're not seemingly on high alert, but you don't get a very good glance. There's these large canisters and all of the apparatus necessary for processing dairy into cheese.
Okay. I'm looking for any... I probably won't know too much about cheese making, but just an ingredient or something that seems off about the process.
Make an investigation check for that.
Ah, crap.
I'll use my inspiration.
Okay.
Might not yield anything, but I think it's worth it. Come on.
Oh, that sucks, because I have a +5 in my
It
inspiration.
happens.
You're kind of blinded by science. You don't really know how all of this does. It's on a larger scale than you would have ever seen. Like, the Vistani know how, like, they've got goats, and you can, like, you've made cottage cheese before in the old-fashioned way of, like, basically putting it in a bladder and letting it curdle. That's the process you're familiar with. This is more industrialized almost. The only thing you pick up that seems very odd as you move up and peek around and shift back before anyone else can really get a sight of you, looking around to make sure there's nobody out in the at the rest of the ranch grounds. There is within this barn another, like, shed. It's made of stone and kind of an old thatched roof that's collapsed in on one side, but another structure inside of this structure is the biggest thing that stands out to you. Asuriel and Val, the pair of you make your way up this winding mountain path. unfamiliar at the end to Valerie because you only traveled partway up here, you still get the drenched, kind of partially washed away blood splatters on the rocks where this fight had happened that instinctively make you shiver seeing the aftermath of this. But you have to push on. What's going on in his head as he kind of sees this? It's dried and mostly washed off the rock, but
he doesn't try to look at it too much. It reminds him a lot of what happened to him, just like seeing the blood on the rocks and everything, just the aftermath of a massacre. And he doesn't like that. He gets this very distant, far away look in his eyes as he just kind of tries to hold on to the reins of the horse as best as possible. But it's very apparent that he is going through something in his mind right now, that there's something going on. Because it almost looks like he isn't there. Like his body is there, but he himself is not.
He was probably looking back regularly to check that Val's still there, since he can't talk, so what if he screams but she doesn't know? She's gonna look back, see that distant look in his eyes, like, you okay?
He just kind of, it takes a moment. There's this almost delay as he kind of needs a moment to look at her. There's just this dead look in his eyes as he kind of forces a smile to kind of just brush it off, just kind of nods, like. But it's just this very much, his eyes aren't smiling. There is just nothing there.
She looks a bit concerned. You write me if there's anything you need, okay?
He just kind of nodding, pushes on. Unless like Asuriel presses further, but that's like the extent of what he is trying to do in terms of like commenting on what is going on.
She doesn't really pry. She just looks back even more regularly now.
Yeah, she would notice, like, unless she's like making it obvious, like if she like side glances to kind of, if she like turns around fully, he pretty much puts on like a smile whenever she turns around. But if she just kind of glances back, then there's just this blank pained expression on his face.
She'll stop her horse after turning around a few times, because she's like doing it, and then sometimes like this. Like, Val, are you okay? You really don't look okay. Do you want to go back?
He makes sure that his horse is like standing properly so that he doesn't fall off, as he just kind of contemplates riding something, kind of reaching for a satchel before just like kind of just looks at her.
you all get lost out here.
What? Hi?
This voice comes from behind one of the trees as one of the distinctly clothed and tattooed Bitterheart descendants, kind of like steps out around it, hand on the sword at his side.
Oh, hi.
How far away is he?
Like,
And is he like
15 to
behind
20
us
feet.
or like
No, he's to the side.
Okay, to the side.
And not very far.
Okay. Then Val would just kind of hold out the basket, kind of trying to stay seated on the horse, kind of struggling, but kind of making clear that they have supplies.
We wanted to help.
What?
Well, the other day I came here with my friends, and I said I could help around if there's anyone that's sick. And Val here's, I think he's a doctor, but he's really good at making people better too.
He looks very confused, but you hear footsteps and another voice from the opposite side of this little mountain path say, "It's all right. I'll take him the rest of the way." As you look over and you recognize Zed.
We brought your horses back too.
All right. Honestly didn't think I'd see you lot again. Come on, follow me.
I would try to hand him the basket because it makes it just difficult for him to move unless the guy is not taking it.
He'll take it, kind of flip it open real quick, root around in there. Generous. More than I was expecting. Here, just come on, follow me.
Going on.
Following as well.
Things have got a bit tense since y'all made the agreement with Deadeye. This'll help. We've very much been told we're not welcome around Silburn no more, and obviously we're not going to be getting no more supplies from them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It is what it is. I can't really complain much. I never sit quite right. Taking folks, I can make peace with supplies, even if it makes people vulnerable on the road. It's a little of what we're used to. They ought to get used to it too. But kidnapping, that ain't right.
Oh, that reminds me that there's a woman in town. She's looking for her son. I don't remember his name, but his last name was Jan.
Is this some kind of little kid, or we didn't take no kids?
No, he sounded a lot more grown up.
We ain't got no one out here. I couldn't say for sure who all got moved along, but it's possible.
All right. Okay. So we're here to help heal people if there's anyone that needs it. I know you guys didn't seem really keen on it last time, but if
look,
you're getting good again.
Thing is, kind of holds up the basket. People who live like us don't get stuff like this. We're brought up to expect lies, expect we gotta take everything. It's not that we don't want help, it's just we don't know how to take it.
I'll give you help. You don't need to do anything. I can just help. Just at least I can try.
What kind of people are you?
Thanks back, Harriet. Guess we get into trouble a lot. But I think we're always trying to do the right thing.
Guess that's
That's-
rare.
Bill just kind of points at like his heart to kind of indicate that the intentions are good.
That's mighty interesting. You approach the stone manor house that sits kind of on this overgrown area that had been kind of a manor grounds in the hills at one point in history. You can see smaller kind of campfires and laundry that's strung out on lines. People kind of going about daily chores of living. And I can have both of you make medicine checks. Zed will kind of converse with Deadeye, who gives you a look with his one good eye and kind of nods, and they bring several of the people out to you.
I will give myself guidance.
Don't think with that +8 I've ever rolled decent
Bruh.
on a freaking medicine check.
Oh, you have
One, maybe?
expertise with it?
With a 12 and 11. There's not a lot you can do. Most people don't need a lot of medicinal aid. Obviously, there's levels of sickness that just happen when you live like these people do. But you can tell that there are those who are too far gone. People who are brought out on kind of like stretchers to have you look at them, and they are malnourished and probably some who look like they've contracted leprosy.
Dear.
But they're still alive right now, right? Okay. And do the people around them know that they're pretty much goners, or are they like still trying to? They're hoping for betterment in some kind.
Make an insight check.
Okay.
Your impression would be that these people are kind of reserved to the way things are. When you
Okay.
live outside of civilization, when you don't have a town, you have a loose community of people who have to survive. It's kind of like
They know what they signed
there's a
up
level
for.
of hopefulness that you're willing to do something, but at the same time,
Okay. Yeah. Val would kind of try to assess the state of these people, kind of see if there is anything he can do. And after that, once he's like made sure that there is nothing to do, he would try to tell the people, like, he knows it's harsh and it's probably it hurts them, but he feels there's also no point in pretending.
how does he go about that?
For him, a lot of this also stems from his experiences. So like before he had his stuff going on, he would have never done this, but this is kind of this almost fatalistic view on things, and he would try to see if they have like any sort of family that he can tell.
But I mean specifically, is he like trying to sign language to them?
Oh, he would write it down.
Yeah, the Zed would just look over that, look to you and Asuriel. What does that say?
Oh, just gonna look over the message.
It reads like literally like these people there's nothing we can do. And it's like
Okay.
very clear what that means.
Gets a pretty sad look on her face. Like, he says there's nothing to be done for them.
Sounds about right. Kind of gets down on one knee and takes the man's hand as he's laid out on this stretcher and just holds it.
Val becomes very sad at that sight, and that goes to the point where he turns away and actually moves away because with like a tight-knit community, he very much knows what that's like, and everything about this reminds him of that, and it's too much for him. He just kind of rushes off, kind of trying to stop himself from panicking.
Val?
Yeah, he just moves.
I'm really sorry we can't do anything for them. Maybe some magic might help, but I don't have anything strong enough.
It's all right. It's the way the world turns. We're all born, we all die. We all rot, most of us. And then from the dirt, things grow from that.
That's true.
You tried more than most. More than anyone.
Life is so precious. It has to hurt when people, you're never going to see someone again.
This is the time we got. Cherish it while it's here.
I will. I definitely will. I'll just go find Val, make sure he's okay. I'll be right back.
Just nods.
Go follow Val.
Cillian, as you're getting a second quick look at this strange old stone structure inside the barn, toward the back wall of it, but you can kind of see it's not quite up against the wall. There's some space between it. Someone almost turns and you duck back, feeling like it's probably, you don't hear anybody moving or shouting, so you're probably safe. But as you're just going to move, there's this sudden shifting and then screeching sound as you look down, and right in front of you, this black barn cat has kind of jumped out and screeched at you.
Oh fuck. Okay, he's gonna try and emulate his sister as best as he can and try and calm the cat down.
Okay. It is interesting because you can go ahead and make an animal handling check, but the first thing that strikes you is you get this mental image when you were in the Sumberwold tracking down the Skin Witch. There was a very similar black cat that had come out of the woods and just hissed at you before moving on.
Okay, he's sort of stunned. Tries to calm it down. Does that work in any way?
The cat kind of stops hissing as you get closer to it. It arches its back, but then it just bolts.
Okay, and then I move in not the way I came, but around the entire barn and try and get into the field again. To try and get near Amrita.
Yeah, and Amrita, you can easily see Cillian moving rather quickly, not sure exactly what it's about.
I've seen that cat before. Can I get to her? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cat? What?
The one that hissed at me? The very loud one.
Did it look mangy or smell mangy?
Did it?
Not like horribly, but it was obviously a wild, not quite feral cat, but definitely one that spit its life outdoors.
I mean, it's been outside for a while, but it wasn't horrible.
You have a phobia of cats now? I thought it was spiders.
Well, when they give away my location when I'm sneaking around, yeah. I couldn't see much in there. There's a smaller sort of building there. Inside. But there's also a lot of people and don't want to press our luck right now, when I still want to check out the house itself. I think that's when we're out of here thing.
Not a good idea. Let's go back that way then, and maybe there's a back entrance way that you can go through or something.
Is it a 2-story building?
Mm-hmm. And you can see from the side there's a wraparound porch kind of on the front, and then a tall, like white picket sort of privacy fence that looks like it's surrounding most of the backside of the house.
Also, I find it hard to believe that a sane cat would be following you. I think you're just overthinking stuff.
I hope you're right. But that witch is still alive. That's where I saw it.
Don't remind me.
It just... Let's focus on the mission. Too many things going on.
Yeah, focus.
And we'll move around, try and find the best entrance point. I want to start from the top. I want to climb up the building and go through a window if it's possible.
Okay. While that's going on, Acrio and Lorelei, how are you keeping
he's awake.
Cooper occupied?
Talking about how much of a fat ass he has and how fucking manly he must be commanding an entire farm on his own. I will talk about my entire fucking family. From Grandpa Revito all the way down to my baby sister. And just random discussions about how our crops weren't good on this year, and how the other year we had the neighbor's goats jump out and trample part of the field.
Make a persuasion check.
I need human determination. Yeah.
Ooh.
That's why we have human determination.
There is. He stands up with several of the farm hands and is obviously ready to get back to work, but it's kind of that moment where he wants to be polite and continue listening to the story. He keeps marginally stepping toward the edge of the porch, just this is a really in-depth story here.
Hey,
but
we got a big family here.
He's trying to go, but managed to kind of pin him down with extensive storytelling.
At one point, I will be like, "Oh, we've clearly talked your ear off a long time. Let's get back to why we came here, Acrio. Remember? We have a friend in town who asked us to come and check on Regina. I believe that's your wife."
You've not been here long? Made friends already?
Yeah. Samantha, I believe that's Regina's niece.
Looks at Acrio, talking about his extensive family. Back to you. Why she ain't been out here herself? What I want to know.
I think she's working.
Well,
She only caught us on the
makes-
way out. She saw we were coming this way.
I gotta admit, there's been a whole lot of lazy people in that town.
Yeah. I don't think they would have come out here anyway.
Silburn is prosperous. Prosperity has its downsides. People start to get neglectful. Guess I can't blame her for asking. Go and check on her, see if she's up and about. Kind of waves to one of his workers. Says yes, sir, and kind of moves into the house. You gotta understand, Jean's been through a lot. Both her kids. Just everything. Takes a toll. Doesn't like to.
Yeah.
Doesn't get out much no more. Doesn't say much.
Not even to you.
I miss her.
Well, we'll be real quick and be sure not to bother her.
Farmhand comes out. So she's in the garden. She's kind of up and around. Cooper nods. Here, let me. I'll show you around. I gotta get back to work though, so gotta make this quick.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Meanwhile, who's sneaking into the upper room of the house?
Cillian will definitely go unless Amrita wants to instead.
You can get up on the walls and I can... Like, she looks at her nails and everything. It's like, or I could just give you a boost and watch out here.
Sure. You're better at finding things, though.
Okay, I'll do it then. We'll see how this goes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, make up a story if something happens. Yeah? You'll be alright.
She kind of nods and she looks up at a window, and yeah, she's gonna attempt to kind of climb.
I'll help with the climb.
Yep.
Hands on the ass.
Yeah, just like no.
Boosties, let's go.
Make an athletics check with advantage.
Okay.
It's a little cumbersome trying to hoist up Amrita. She's taller than you would even expect, so her long legs make it a little bit difficult as she like steps onto your shoulder with her heavy boots to boost herself up. Amrita, you don't really have your claws out right now because I assume you're still wearing these gloves that you've had, so you have to grab onto a windowsill, pull yourself up, and then manage to push the glass panes up, and Cillian giving you this final boost, you heave yourself up into this room.
While she's searching, I'm keeping an eye out and telling Reagan to like look the other way while I'm looking left. He's looking right.
Gotcha.
Alright, yep. She's gonna make sure to expose the third eye and also just kind of begin to look around and be quiet.
There's a poof of dust that is kicked up as the light is filtering through this window. You see it kind of moving the particles in the streams of light. You find yourself in this smaller upper room. There's a single bed, well made, and kind of a dresser, but and there's like a few things in here, but not a lot. It's sparsely furnished, and there's a layer of dust on everything.
Does it look like there's a door in this room or any kind of
Yes,
paintings
there
and
would be a
sorts?
door.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna go over to that door, kind of just look around, make sure there's not any probably traps or triggers.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty easy to see this door is not, rigged to explode or anything crazy like that. It's just a person's room. You do find that the lock is done from the inside, so you can unlock it to go out, obviously.
All right, she does that as quietly as possible.
just a very subtle click as you swing the door in and peek down the hall. Several other closed door rooms in this upper hallway, hardwood floors that you can see are much more clean than the room that you were just in.
Okay, which way? She's kind of like biting her tongue, just like figure out which way to go specifically to find. Does it look like there's any light coming anywhere or noise from a certain direction, left or right?
Not really. It's pretty quiet up here.
Okay, she's gonna try and go enter in one of the other rooms then.
Basically, you find a master bedroom. You find, you can find what is very clearly Big Tuck's room, where it's kind of a mess. Somebody has probably come in and made the bed, but there are trinkets and clothing strewn about and different stuff like that. Obviously, it looks like a child's room, but full, adult-sized bed and everything, obviously.
Okay, then she's gonna look around and see if she sees anything that resembles something of a cow, or see if maybe he left the bell in here.
Make an investigation check.
Okay.
You don't find any bell, but there are a number of papers kind of in one side of the room, several that have been like pinned to the wall, a lot of different ones where this different colored wax, like crayon, has drawn different images. You see what looks like kind of a stick figure with orangish colored hair, just squiggled on, standing next to another one that has a very clear like attempt at a mustache drawn on it, and a woman in a dress also has that reddish hair, but it's like drawn down. And there is also, standing off next to them, a picture of a cow.
A regular cow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she'll exit out of that room. And does it look like there's any steps that lead down or up?
Yeah, you're in the upper room, so.
Okay. I assume there's really not a lot of rooms upstairs.
It's mostly all, it's mostly all bed chambers up here. There's ever so slightly a creak in the ceiling above Acrio and Lorelei as you're being led through the house.
I'll talk a little louder about my family.
It's like, this thing.
About how there's this one time that like Grandpa Revito was like filling up a barrel, but he like tripped over the stool and fell over, knocked the barrel over. Whole damn basement smelled like hops for an entire year.
It's a very, very distracting story as you all are led out onto this back porch and like a terraced garden that is full of these climbing vines and flowers. This whole area has kind of been set up. There's a little fountain that's trickling, and off to one side you can see this woman in kind of like these loose robes almost. For Will step down off of the little back deck, put his hand on her shoulder, whisper to her slightly, and gesture to you. Lorelei and it's Acrio, yes?
Yeah.
Come to check up on you. She looks at you, but kind of then back at the flowers and is a little bit like not quite registering that you're there.
Look at Lorelei.
She clears her throat and says, Samantha asked me to come and check in on you.
Samantha. She's a good girl.
Yeah, she's lovely. I can pass on a message for you if you'd like. Is there anything you want to tell her?
kind of gets this distant look, turns away to these climbing roses up the side of the fence, just pulls on one. It doesn't quite want to break off until it just kind of like breaks it off. You can see she starts a little bit as there's some of blood running down her fingers as she's cut herself on one of the thorns, but she just holds that out to you.
I'll pass this along to her then, okay?
Cooper quickly, grabs her hand and kind of wraps a kerchief around there.
Oh, I give Lorelei the look like, do I talk? Do I talk about the thing, the daughter that wasn't there?
I just give him this look that's just like, now or never.
So what happened to that daughter of yours?
Cooper looks from his wife toward you. This deep side eye. Why are you asking?
So I'm a curious man, I suppose. And I got a lot of questions for this town. You seem like the person who would know.
Looks back at his wife. Take the time to be talking about that.
I need a time and I need an answer. Or very bad things are going to come upon you.
What exactly are you getting at?
I'm saying I'm a Cathar of the Church of Avacyn. And so help me, Avacyn, if you are lying about what happened to your daughter. I need to know.
Kind of whispers to Regina, who kind of looks off and goes over to the fountain as he steps up to you. Who do you think you are? What right do you think you have in this town?
No matter what I have permission to do in this town. The church oversees everything, and I am a hand of the church, good sir.
Is that really how you think it works around here?
Avacyn, I hope it does, or you have a very corrupt town.
This is a safe town. This is a protected town. This is my town.
I took care of your protection. Made sure it's never going to protect you again. You're going to have people from all over wandering in. You ain't going to have nothing, nobody bringing you bodies. Pulling people off the roads. Now, what is happening with that? As a good man, I am sure you know that pulling people off the road and paying bandits in food and supplies to do so, that isn't very church-like or holy-like of you.
You a family man? Sounds like Mr. Revito. You got friends here in this town. Be mighty uncomfortable what people might hear about some of them. Wolves inside the gates. About Vistani sleeping around with folks' daughters. People don't take kindly. If you want things to remain comfortable.
If you want things to remain comfortable, you won't say a word. I will show everyone the empty casket under your daughter's headstone.
We'll see who has more sway around here, if that's the way you want to play it, Lorelei.
This isn't the way I want to play it at all, Cooper. I just want answers. Where is she?
She's gone. She ain't coming back. All you need to know. That's all you're ever going to know. And I suggest you get along down the road.
And I look back at his house. A mighty fine establishment, I must say.
You don't even begin to understand what it's take to build this. And you're no longer welcome here. Now get.
Have a good day. Was seeing your son around. Tip my tricorn hat with my one good hand.
He does not reply with the same gesture.
Yeah.
Flip the hood up.
Did I hear any of this go down? Sorry.
Yeah, you were probably near enough outside the fence that, yeah, you would have heard this once things got a little bit heated.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then as soon as it does get a little heated, I realize I don't have much time, and I sort of leave miniature devices, and I go back to the cheese place.
Mm-hmm.
I want to, when I get there, are there still people inside?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't stick around long enough to hear any of their names, right?
Oh, probably not, no.
Yeah.
And I don't know that
So
they
I
would.
Refer to
Talking about the workers refer to each other by name.
Yeah. Then I'll just stand outside and send a message to one of them. Send one of my geists. And just say, it's like probably don't have much choice between guys here, so it's probably just a man in his 30s.
Mm-hmm.
I think you want to come outside, worker, or bad things will happen.
If you look inside, there's one of the guys kind of looking around like, what the hell was that? And look at one of the guys next to him and narrow his eyes, but then he's just going to head outside, look around, see what the source of this was.
And then I send one to the other one, make sure I'm hidden like on the side, and see if I can get a window where I can get to that stone building.
Okay. Roll percentile.
If it doesn't work, that's fine. I'll let it go. But I had to at least try.
Ooh.
Yeah. The other guy walks out, and then they start conversing, and then they get into a little bit of a heated argument about what the fuck's going on, and are they messing with each other or some shit.
Mm-hmm. I'll try to slip past them and try and get to the back.
Yeah.
Is that building, like, is there a door? Is there a lock on it? Is there... do we smell anything from
so
it?
as you get closer, you can see that there is an old wooden door. It's still pretty heavy construction with iron bands across it and a heavy padlock.
All right, I'll try and unlock it.
Make a thieves tools check. Very quickly, constantly looking back to make sure the workers aren't returning, just pops open.
I'll look inside, see if it's anything interesting.
You find a set of stairs inside this building. There's several canisters kind of on the wall, but the main thing is these stone stairs that descend down into the earth. There's the vaguest flicker of light, and oddly, the stone is this yellow golden sandstone, which I haven't really seen too much of around here.
Oh my god, what would he do? I can't lock it behind me, right? It was padlock, you said?
I mean, yeah, padlocks, you just push them back together and they relock.
Oh, sure. I thought I would have to reach through the door or something.
Well, yeah, if you're going in, you won't be able to lock it behind you that way.
Yeah, Cillian goes in. He would. I think he would.
Alrighty. Amrita, what are you doing inside the house? As you start to hear, your ears start to pick up Acrio's voice getting a little bit louder, and this heavier local accent as well.
Yeah, seeing as she's hasn't been able to find anything, she goes out of Tuck's room and tries to go back to the window and like I was like, Cillian, where the fuck did he go?
Yeah, he seems to be nowhere in sight.
He sign vanish.
Yeah, she is like, just like, what the fuck? And she's gonna try and sneak out and see if she can track down where Cillian went.
Okay, make either an athletics or acrobatics check, so you have to leap out of the building yourself.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, tuck and roll, parkour style,
Yeah.
across the grass.
And yeah, she just kind of puts like her hands down to like the ground where he might have last been and tries to go track him.
I need you to make both a survival check and a stealth check as you're trying not to be seen by the ranch hands.
Oh shit.
But that's fine.
Okay, well that's good.
Better than the other way around.
No.
You catch his smell briefly. You're familiar with kind of the herbs that he had rubbed on himself to disguise from the dogs. But as you're starting to move that way, you have to duck back because several workers leading these cows start to move right in front of your way, and you're kind of pinned down. And by the time they pass and you're trying to pick up the trail, there's just nothing. You have no idea where he's gone.
Son of a bitch. And she's just gonna keep like remaining in the field, but keep a lookout for Acrio and Lorelei while still trying to find him.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of going back in different ways that they've gone.
I think
Which-
eventually. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, what are Acrio and Lorelei doing?
Lorelei is walking hastily, just like out. she's walking out, and she looks pretty shaken.
Goober just crosses his arms as he watches you go.
Out the main entrance, and then immediately cut around the forest line, if there is one.
It's really not. You're basically in an open field.
Ah.
Here there are sparse trees, which is what Cillian and Amrita had managed to hide behind, but it's not dense enough to be considered a forest or anything like that.
Got it.
As
So
the
I
pair
travel
of the
through
clerics,
the forest.
as the pair of the clerics are moving out of the house and then down the long path toward the exit of the ranch, it does look like most of his farmhands kind of glance over at you, just watching you leave. All eyes seem to be on you as you're making your way out.
Ooh.
Cillian, you
Nice.
follow these stairs. They switch back at several points. 2, 3 stories, it feels like. You are deep in the ground to the point you can feel the air change. It's cool and dry and a little bit dusty.
Before I get like 120 feet away, because that's how far I can send Dragon with a message, I do eventually like I go past that point and try, and then go back a little bit. And just update. I'm okay. I'm searching. I'm sending this to Amrita via Reigen. Can I do that actually? Can she just? Because Reigen is kind of a special one.
I mean, yeah, you can use any of the ones you want.
Okay, I'm just curious if
He'd be
would able to
willing.
hear him.
You want to send me to get a message?
Oh, I think, yeah. So I'll just say to him, go tell her I'm okay, I'm investigating. Make her get out of there. And he'll probably translate that in his own way.
And I need you to make an Arcana check to see kind of how many you are close enough to relay this message.
Oh boy.
Makes sense. Makes even more sense.
So nobody's gonna receive that, and I need you to roll a d4.
Oh God, why?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh,
Everything goes swimmingly.
Talon isn't horrible, I think.
Jake's joke.
So yeah, basically you're going to have disadvantage on the next roll you make, attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, as you're like strangely cut off and alone. You've had Reigen there for so long, even with the other geists around you, it's weird not having him with you, and it kind of makes a shudder go down your
Yeah.
spine.
He's entirely alone for the first time in a long time. So I think he's just scared.
You reach the bottom of the stairs, and this is what you see.
Uh-oh. He has an image. Oh, he has a dungeon. Oh,
Oh
no.
god, it's
Oh,
huge!
no.
Oh, this has big energy of when Contessa went into that castle on her own.
Oh,
Cillian,
yeah.
he's a bit fucked, mate.
Oh my
All right,
god.
Killian, good luck. Solo this dungeon.
Just
Cillian.
just like level 10.
You enter this atrium. There are pillars holding up the ceiling. Again, it's this sandstone construction, some of which you can see is carved directly out of the earth. In either corner are these statues, older than you've ever seen, in no form of art style you're familiar with in any of the dealings you've had with your prior organization in copying. It's very different. They are humanoid in shape, but with these long-horned, cattle-like heads, all standing at attention in the four corners, while on the floor there's this old cave painting kind of pattern on the ground, and the image that you would process to the best of your ability to be kind of this smudged red painting of a fetal cow.
This doesn't spark any, like,
Delicious.
memories or something, right?
It is
Nah, that's what I
entirely
thought.
alien.
Stein doesn't want to do this on his own. But I gotta follow my character, man. I think he's too proud to stop now.
Oh my god.
Bye, Killian.
Let's go.
Oh god. Does Amrita ever like notice his sin again? Probably not. Oh.
Mhm.
You
Okay.
don't know where he's gone.
He immediately goes into like rogue mode,
Mm-hmm.
right? He goes into sneak mode, and like goes all the way around. Doesn't walk on the fucking this creepy gaff thing the right way around, looking for traps the entire way.
Yeah. Make a perception check. There are torches lit, burning on either side of these smaller kind of like half circle stairs leading up into another area across the way.
I used one to light the bullseye lantern I have.
Sure.
Not horrible.
There's no indication of loose tiles, ones that might be pressure activated. There are no tripwires across the pillars. You don't find anything as you seem to be approaching the door on the other side. It is this like arched door.
Okay. And I also don't hear any approaching footsteps from someone who saw an unlocked door.
Nope.
Yeah. Okay. Do I see any clear way of opening this door?
So it's not actually closed, it's just an open arc.
Okay. Sorry.
But as you approach it and kind of look either way, it seems to be a tunnel passage that lead in to the right and the left. Wall just beyond the arch just ends, but there are two tunnels either way that are completely dark. You do have a lantern. Was it a bullseye or a?
It's whatever is in the
bullseye.
burglar's back. I think that's no hooded lantern. Sorry.
All right. There you are.
Oh, we don't get to see anything. We don't get to see him die.
Cillian would think he'd send a message, right?
Mhm.
That's where I'm going. Yeah. Okay. Then he thinks he's fine. So I don't want to do this on my own. Sorry, guys, that I have to take this.
No,
from
it's
you.
fine. This is great.
You think we want to be here?
Yeah, do this shit alone. Fuck that.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I can't even see the map, but it makes sense because we're not there.
Yeah, there's nothing for you guys to see.
Okay, good. I was like, I can't. Yeah.
But Cillian starts to make his way down one of these tunnels. It turns sharply to the right and then to the left again. All of it kind of very old construction, and very disorienting.
Do I have to keep mentioning that I'm checking for traps, or are you filtering that in?
I'll assume that you're searching
Okay.
kind of passively as you're going, because it is something you're trained to do.
Makes sense. Oh, fuck.
You turn another corner, there is torch light that you can see around a bend.
I as soon as I start, this starts being confusing. I grab the silver blade and I mark my path so that I at least can find my way back.
Okay, just carving a little bit of scratch into the wall.
Exactly. And I'll go. Sure. Oh, that's dead end. Yeah.
Yeah, seems to be as you step around toward the torchlight, it's this abrupt dead end, and you're not sure even why there's a torch placed here.
Is there a point where Amrita meets up with Acrio and Lorelei?
Would she?
But yeah, she like freaked out like in a panic, and like when she sees them, she makes sure that her hand's like, I can't find fucking Cillian. I don't know where he fucking went, but I went through the house and found nothing.
You lost our rogue?
He's the one that fucking wandered off.
Oh, Jesus.
He could have gone back to maybe
Avacyn, Christ.
The only other thing that we went to was like this new barn, and he found something inside.
Did he tell you where it was?
I don't know. I'm just fucking guessing, but we need to find him. I don't know where the fuck he went. Idiot.
I don't know if we can. Cooper just told us to scram, basically. I think if he sees us, we'll be in even more trouble.
His farmhands have an unnatural eye for us, even though they don't know what's going on. I think there's something way too fucky here.
Did you see Regina? She was not there at all.
Yeah. Well, whatever's happening, it has to be finished tonight. Because somehow Cooper knows you're a werewolf, and he's got some shit on Vistani.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait. If he was working with the Bitter Hearts, can't fucking leave.
They wouldn't. They couldn't have done. Surely.
Doesn't matter who told him. They know. So he has to die tonight.
Holy shit.
What? And Rita looks back at the field and it's like, I'm gonna circle around one more time. It might be risky.
See if anything's out of place.
Oh, I will. And then she quickly goes back.
Lorelei, let's see if we can scan the perimeter, stay away from the farms and farmhands.
Ah!
Sorry.
No, I'm just frightened.
It's difficult for Lorelei being black and blue beacon standing out in this grass field, and Acrio, you know that your armor's going to reflect the midday light, even with the shadows of the clouds above ever present in Stenzia. You're still a bit shiny.
All right. I'm gonna pull my shitty common clothes that I never use, because who wears common in his clothing? Oh wait, Asuriel does, because she can't wear armor. And I will throw the cloak over myself and my armor, and then I'll look at Lorelei and I'm like, you gotta take the blue dress off just for a little while.
The cloak's blue.
Oh yeah, the cloak. I meant cloak. The black is a lot
Her
more.
dress is still black.
Yeah, I feel like. Oh yeah.
In the middle of the day in a field.
Just give me the fucking clothes, Acrio.
Oh yeah, here. And I'll hand her the standard tunic and like knapsack quality pants. Farm pants, farm shirt.
And I'll just get changed out in the field.
Try to go behind a tree.
Yeah,
Is there a naked lady out in the forest?
She takes her dress off first, out like under her cloak, like that thing where you try and like get changed under a towel.
Yeah.
And she does like facing away, and she's like, "You better not be fucking looking."
Damn, how'd you know?
Well, you're the one obsessing over what I was wearing.
You're a beacon in the daylight, Lorelei.
Says Mr. Shiny.
That's why I put a cloak on. Also, Acrio has like a leather jacket that goes over his armor.
Yeah, but you still got pauldrons and, gauntlets that are just out
and
there.
A helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a big-ass shield with a holy symbol on it that's strapped to the stub of your arm.
I see your fucking point, piece of shit.
While Cillian, you mark this corner, scratching it in as you've got 2 ways to go, but you can see with your lantern when you turn to the left what is obviously a room.
Okay. First off, are there creepy crawly things here?
There definitely would be. There are mice.
Okay.
There are spiders in webs in the corners.
Okay, so he hates being here. And at this point, he realizes that he probably locked himself in if the hands just decide to lock that door. But he says, fuck it, and continues on because he's an asshole. And I'll check out this room. Ah!
So you enter this room.
Run, bitch.
There are several canisters and items around the room that are very out of place for this underground dungeon. There are what look like a woman's hair ribbons. There is a dress hanging on the wall, personal items that belonged to a female at some point, like a dresser and a very basic personal effects, probably a picture hanging on the stone wall, very out of place, with a stone slab at one end, in front of which is a carpet laid out and a cow that is laying on this rug. It's very obviously alive and turns its head toward you, and you see what could only be described as a human face that has been stretched across a cow's skull.
Okay. Cillian involuntarily makes a pretty loud noise.
On the slab behind this cow is you can see there's an open book and several candles that are lit, illuminating this room, but they're burned down and the wax is spread out, melted around them. This cow kind of moves slightly, but then just slowly lays the head back down.
First off, I wanted to ask: is the dress adult-sized or young
It's
adult?
probably it's thin, waifish, but probably tall enough for an average-sized adult.
Okay.
Then again, I'm not.
I'll kneel next to the cow, or human, and I'll kind of stroke. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so fucking sorry. What the fuck? I give her some food that I have with me.
She doesn't seem underfed per se, but yeah, she'll just, it's very strange seeing what is almost like a human mouth but stretched out and these cow teeth.
He kind of has to hold himself together to not throw up at the side. It's okay. We'll be back. I think this is enough. Is the book small enough for me to carry on my person?
Sure. It looks like a personal journal, probably. Diary, perhaps. And this is the page that is open to. As you snatch it quickly, you can read that.
Holy shit.
I can't read
What have I
cursive.
done?
I can. I'm like, fuck.
You got like a Times New Roman translation.
You got that thing in video games where, like, if you press A, it shows like the writing just in plain text, so you can actually read it.
So Cillian doesn't even read it all in this moment as he grabs it.
Mm-hmm.
He just grabs the book, tucks it away, and has found he's found anything he was looking for. So now he wants to make his way back and just strokes once more. You'll be all right. He lies, and tries to make his way back, following the notches.
Mm-hmm. How quick is he trying to be?
Quick, like he's fucking afraid. He's running.
Yeah, bolting through these twisting passages, following the notches you've made. You get to the entryway, out where there's that painting. Over in this far corner, you start to hear a stomping sound as you're reaching the exit, and from around the corner, you see this hulking mass turn and lock eyes with you with these white, almost dead or blind looking eyes, as this is what comes around the corner to see you.
Holy shit.
Run!
Get the fuck out!
Yeah,
Its
that's
hoof
what I'm doing.
scratches the ground multiple times as it begins to lean forward toward you. And how do you react?
I fucking run. I try to reach the stairs.
There is a loud bovine-like roar as it begins to charge. You bolt forward, its horns slam into the wall right where you had been, causing rubble to fall around it as it shakes it off. You run across the atrium, not even looking for traps, just to the stairs, up and around. You still hear it like behind you, and yeah, like when you reach the top, are you just continuing to bolt out?
No. He stops himself. He's fucking afraid, so I might give myself disadvantage on this even, but he tries to listen if there's anyone outside and see if the door is locked without like pushing on it.
Yeah, you get to it trying to be quick, but all you can hear in that moment is Reigen appearing right behind you. Couldn't find him. I don't know where they went. I couldn't find him at all.
Things are fucked. Whisper. And okay, yeah, fuck it. Then he tries and open the door.
Yeah, it creaks open slightly. Doesn't appear as though anyone had latched it or noticed that it was hanging slightly open, but as you do, you can definitely see there are multiple people still working here.
Okay. Can I, this is a bit weird, so you might not allow it, use one of my wails from the dead as a noise coming from somewhere else?
In this instance, I'll allow it as a special circumstance.
Okay. And he a bit too quick throws open the door and like runs without thinking to hide, and he sees like heads starting to turn, and at that moment like something instinctual just hits, and no one sees this, but he kind of like flows in between ethereal world and real world for a second. So like part of him, the cloud rot part of him, kind of starts going translucent, and he has to fight to keep himself there. But in that fight, this horrible cacophony of like 3 different screams just goes off outside,
and it shrieks loud enough that Amrita, Acrio, and even Lorelei, from the distance off from the ranch, you hear this distant but obviously incredibly loud shrieking wail.
Yeah, Amrita's kind of far ahead, but she's still like quickly goes in that direction. It's like, that son of a bitch, he gave me shit for that. I'm gonna fumble his ass, and she just like starts going that way.
While she's running, just like, motherfucker.
Did he just do this on the ranch, or?
Yeah, he's in the middle of the ranch, but it is enough that all the heads that turn toward you are quickly startled and distracted by these wails of something geist-like, and you have an opening, but it's not going to be much.
Yeah, and I'll try and as stealthily and quick as possible, I'll try and get out.
Okay. I need you to make a stealth check, and I will say it is at disadvantage because the screams do also then attract other people on the ranch.
Makes sense.
You're heading probably toward the area-ish where you and Amrita had made it onto the ranch to begin with, darting through the alleys between some of the buildings, ducking behind barrels. You start to hear people shouting, what's going on, stuff like that. You turn a corner, and over in the distance, a couple of the ranch hands look and point your direction. They're too far away to do anything at the moment, but
I just keep running. And I gonna wave at them.
yeah, just bolting toward the edge of the perimeter. You vault over the barbed wire fence. There's a field of cattle that are not too far away.
Yeah, I'll just run straight in. Blend in.
Amrita, you watch this little figure with purple armor and backpack and everything identifiable about Cillian just bolting across a field into this herd of cows that then start like mooing in confusion.
She just goes after him, just like, oh, and if he like sees her, he sees that she is fuming and her face is red and she is angry.
Meanwhile,
yeah,
Asuriel and Val, what's going on?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
You're gonna get your ass kicked, boy.
Anyway, what?
How long are you staying up at the Bitter Harp encampment? Or are you making your way back to Silburn once you've completed what you can?
Yeah, I mean, once Val has managed to calm back down, he would have checked if there's like anything else like that needs immediate attention, like I don't know, injuries from like hunting or anything of the likes, or if they try to rob people, who knows, someone got stabbed. But if there's nothing,
Yeah, again, gonna
not really.
head back. Probably not go into Silburn yet, though. Wait kind of outside, not too far away from the gates. Or actually, probably ask first if the guards if the others are back, and if they aren't, just wait for them.
No, we saw him leave, but it's been a couple hours now.
Oh, how long does it take to get to Mr. Cooper's farm?
Well, they weren't riding, so half hour or so probably. On foot.
Oh, well, 2 hours is a long time. She kind of just starts walking towards the farms. Valor, do you want to come and? I just want to check on them. I'm sure they're fine, but I'm a little nervous.
Val kind of looks at her for a moment, but then kind of starts to move after her, and out of interest with like how Asuriel behaves at times, it doesn't seem to match with her age, right?
Kinda, yeah. It's
okay.
I mean, it's weird because sometimes she seems incredibly naive and juvenile almost for her age, but at the other times there's almost this like quiet reservedness of somebody who's beyond her years. It's strange how it kind of wavers.
Okay. Would Val know if there are like medical conditions that can cause something like that, or if you get hit in the head or something like that, if something like that could occur?
I don't know that mental stuff has ever been part of your training thus far, so probably not really involved with the various psychological conditions. You've been mostly focused on physical ailments.
Okay.
Which physically she seems fine, other than obviously she's been, been through the ringer a time or two.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. Okay. Yeah. Then he'll just follow along.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for coming. Hurriedly head towards the farm.
Amrita and Cillian ducked into this kind of herd, which several of them are kind of like moving away from you, kind of a little confused and
Amrita almost has
put
him
off by
where,
your
like,
energy.
She like grabs him by like his shirt collar and everything's like, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. Where the fuck did you go, you asshole?
They saw me. They know I was there. Come on. Stop.
You fucking She's just gonna drag him by like his neck, like the neck shirt, not letting go, like just to stealthily go away. So help me, you fucking son of a bitch. Like she's very pissed.
Is there a cornfield nearby?
Near enough that you can eventually get to one. You're gonna have to cross over and weave through some of the small areas of trees to get to anything. Mostly it's all just grass. And Lorelei, it's interesting because the last time you found yourself in this expansive field of tall grass, there were other things in it.
Yeah. Not cool.
Hey, but I'm here now.
Now we can both die with a cow monster.
Acrio's gonna try and receive those two, so be ready for them to catch up with us. Give us the news on where the fuck Cillian was.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Just like freaking see him being basically dragged by his neck. Just like
Can I fucking guidance this shit?
Sure.
Dragged by the ear.
I don't fucking care.
Yeah, she's not letting go of his shirt, man. Just like
Hey, Lori, you got a proficiency with perception?
I do not.
Fuck.
Damn, sucks to suck.
Yeah, sorry, man.
1d4. Hey, 15.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you really don't see them until it's almost like they're already past you. You've been scanning this field and looking for trees and any movement. There's obviously cattle. You heard the screams and were kind of momentarily distracted by the commotion that was starting at the ranch. And then it took like 10 minutes of scanning the horizon off in that direction before out of the corner of your eye you catch a bit of movement that's already closer to the fields.
Yeah, it's like, hey, wait, wait.
Ow, stop. Amrita, come on, let me go.
No, I will not fucking stop. And she like kind of just shoves him out, just like, get moving and get back to the town. Fucking idiot.
Let me explain first, please, because insane shit. Like, literally.
You went off by your fucking self, you moron. And is that what you told me? You wanted me to go in the house so you could just fucking go off on your own?
I'll hail
Not necessarily,
to
but
as I approach.
Lorelei and Acrio were fucking up, so I decided to do something. I sent you a message, but Reagan couldn't find you. I'm sorry. Anyway, there was stairs down, and there was sandstone, and cows, and statues, and pillars, and a fucking maze, and a chamber with a cow with a human face stretched over, and spiders, and fucking this. And I'll hand them the book.
Amrita snatches it from him and like holds it up, staring at it.
Neither of them seem to have noticed as Acrio kind of called out and approached, and Lorelei although trying to kind of keep low, Lorelei wearing, strange apparel.
Normal farmhand apparel.
Lorelei looks like she's like
Strange for her.
never worn this kind of tunic in her life, and she would much rather be dead. She's like contorting in it.
Yeah, Amrita's
Starting
like,
that titty space.
yeah. She
Well,
still
just
has like
because
a,
her arms are fucking on the open.
yeah, Amrita still has like this scowl on her face, but like it kind of just stops when she reads the book, and it's just like, what the?
Heck, what's in it yet?
Read this.
Seemed.
She like shoves it in like Acrio's hand for him to see it, and it's just like, let's keep walking this way. But look,
Oh,
I know it was there.
well, I'm glad
I know
you
something's up.
decided to notice us.
Andy.
Yeah,
Oh no!
we're in a bit of a
Dogs!
pickle here.
This moron. You know what?
We can't go back to town. Whatever we need to finish needs to be finished tonight.
We can't go back.
So we
Dogs
need
from
to
the
round
field
up.
start to approach, barking.
We
Yeah,
move
so we
away.
need the other two. Now, what did you see down there, Cillian?
I explain it again.
Explain this
This
as
time
we're
in a bit of a
walking. Go, go, go,
calmer
go.
voice.
Yeah, a little less insane.
I swear to you, there's so much underground there.
Why is it always underground? Closer to hell, I suppose.
Let's find Val and Asuriel.
Yeah,
I
we're
hope
gonna
they're
need to
okay.
find those two. Can we get back in there?
We'd have to fight our way in. They know it was there. And there was also like this bovine fucking hulking creature that tried to kill me. But I escaped. I hope. I'm not dead, right?
Not yet. Whatever the case, we can't go back because Avacyn knows what they'll do to us.
I think Cooper has like. I think everyone's just like spying on things for him. He has eyes everywhere.
Yeah.
He knows about Amrita, and he knows that you shacked up with somebody, Cillian, apparently.
I mean, I wasn't making it a secret.
Yeah,
What?
but for
Ew! I don't want to hear about this. What the? Read just.
Not describing how he fucked somebody. Congratulations, you know what sex is now. Important thing is we need to find the other two. We need Val and we need Asuriel. Once we have those two, doesn't matter what condition we're in, we just need to go for it.
Maybe we go to the Bitter Arch now.
What are they going to do?
They're not going to do something, but there might be. It's at least somewhere we can be
that is true.
where Cooper doesn't have eyes. Probably. Maybe some.
We can stay with them till nightfall, and then we'll come back here and finish the job.
What does finish the job mean?
Kill whatever's down there, destroy whatever's down there, and confront.
But why? I don't want to go down there again. And this town seems fine.
It is
Just a
not
bit fucked
whether
up.
you want to go down there. It is what's happening to those people in those walls. Are they asked?
What
for
is
this?
happening? They're fed. They're okay. They're happy.
Okay, Cillian, thought exercise. You're in that situation. You want to be there?
No, of course not. But fuck them.
You're a cow
You were so close.
with your face stretched over a cow skull. Do you want that to happen to you?
No, but I'm sorry. It was just a lot. I felt like I wasn't going to come up again.
And now you'll go back down with a whole group of people that can keep you safe. You
You're
need
right.
to do this, Cillian.
Fuck, you're right. I know. It's not going to be easy.
It ain't, but we're gonna do it together. That'll make it a hell of a lot easier.
While they're all three kind of talking, Amrita's just kind of looking out for, as they're quickly trying to make it back to town, maybe just seeing if the others could be passing by, or maybe they're still at the Bitter Hearts and everything. But she's just, she's
moving through the
not-
cornfields. They're not precise rows, somewhat, but not clearly not planted specifically, which you know that they kind of grow up just naturally. It seems like has been the indication, and it's hard to kind of maneuver through them or get any sense of what else is out there. Amrita, you hear 2, 3, maybe horses rushing by, men's voices speaking about something. It kind of causes everyone to pause, stop moving as they bolt past, coming from the ranch and going toward town.
There are heralds of our demise if we go back to that town, I'm sure.
She kind of just like her emotions are kind of just like all over the place, and just to get closer, and continues to walk really fast.
As you move away from the ranch, you eventually can step out of the cornfields onto the roads. There are several that cut through here, and it's a little disorienting because you're not sure which road you had taken, but then you, Amrita, can catch sight of the most well-trodden path and pick that up in time, coming across Asuriel and Valerie kind of unexpectedly. They're not riding horses anymore like they had been this morning. But yes, the pair of you also see the rest of them, who are all red-faced and obviously a little worn out.
Who's gonna rush over them? Are you okay?
No.
Lorelei rushes over and just gives Asuriel a hug.
Okay. She'll hug her back.
Yeah, Amrita just kind of huffs with irritation, eyes Cillian, but like says nothing.
Look at Val, ask him how the trip went.
Kind of taking out a sheet of paper.
Yeah, I know your trip went shit, Cillian.
Kind of writing
Freudian
down.
slip.
Not much we could do.
Anyway, that's too bad. We're going back there because... And I kind of explain everything that happened to me.
Well, just goes like, holy shit.
He just starts talking.
Yeah.
Just to say that.
Holy fuck. Wait, what?
What?
Eyes just kind of go wide and he's like,
Val, you're not implicated yet. If you just want to go back to town, fucking ignore this. I'd understand.
Val looks conflicted for a moment, but eventually just like, and he kind of puts his hand on Cillian's shoulder to kind of both reassure him and calm him down, and also show him that he's in on this. He can't back out. So he kind of looks at everybody, giving them a slight nod.
Sure about this now, because we can't go back there.
There's this moment where Val just kind of looks at Cillian as if wanting to say something, but he just kind of nods.
Thanks, buddy.
Can we take care of the grass? Can we get back into town without being headhunted?
Maybe Priestess Renford will listen to us. She's nice.
Well, it's just getting into her is the point.
Danielle?
There's gonna be eyes there. So many.
Yeah, Amrita just like stares and like Can't fucking abandon Myra now, can we? Right, Cillian? And she just kind of starts to go. I'm going to try to sneak back into the town. Try to go to her.
Val would kind of try to like hold on to Amrita's hand to stop her.
Back off! She like shoves
Immediately,
him.
let's go.
Amrita, as much as I appreciate you trying to go in, we all need to go in if we are. If they catch
definitely.
one of us, that's one of us, but we're gonna have a hell of a lot harder of a time getting all of us at once.
Plus, Amrita, if you go in there, you not only have to dodge Cooper's eyes, but you have to dodge Jon's wife as well.
To the chapel then. And she just starts going that way. Just when
Chapel
starting
is-
to tolerate you,
Yeah.
Cillian. Oh.
Chapel is inside the city. It's on the northern end, but you would still have to get inside Silburn.
Now, is there only one entrance, or is there like a?
There are
northern-
north and south gates.
Okay, so we can go in through the north gate and then have a relatively short trip to beeline it to the chapel.
Mm-hmm.
Possible.
The tower's not in Silburn, right? It's like outside.
The tower is not, no.
That might be it. There might be people at the tower we can get on side.
I
Right
think
now-
the people in the tower are happy, content.
It is
They'll side with Cooper.
safe to assume everybody's in Cooper's good terms.
Well, what about Yathar? We met here. He hasn't been here that long.
Casper?
Yes. Maybe it's just a coincidence that this started happening when he got here.
Val will kind of look at everybody, holding up some paper again. Well, actually, not even that. He will instead kind of wave to get everybody's attention, and then just point into the direction of the Bitter Hearts, indicating that they might get help from them if they play their cards right.
I agree with Val. I think it's the best option. Listen, Renford would probably help us, but she's also smart. If people come knocking, she's not going to give up the thing she's built.
But she knows what's right.
I agree, but I
I
don't
trust
want
her
to
to do
bet
what's
on
right
it.
whether or not we're there. She doesn't need us to be there to tell her what to do.
Val kind of looks at everybody to see their take on the suggestion.
He does have a point though. Even if we do go into town, we're taking a big risk. Going to the Bitter Hearts is probably the safest option.
Okay. Of the two people here that are least likely to be killed, it's me, Lorelei, 3 people, my bad. Me, Lorelei, and Asuriel. Everyone else apparently has dirt on you guys, and something bad might happen if you're in the city.
Val kind of looks confused. It's like,
Acrio,
I
let's
didn't
not
do
just forget
anything.
that we are the ones that just pissed Cooper off.
Doesn't matter.
You don't have to worry about Silver. Fine, I'll go to the Bitter Hearts.
Go to
I'll
the
go to the
Bitter
Bitter
Hearts.
Hearts.
Val will
I'm good at hiding.
move with her, keeping way back after like the last interaction they had, but he's still moving into the direction of the Bitter Hearts.
Oh,
Yeah.
we can't take care of the grave person, so I guess we'll just have to go to Cooper and interrogate him, essentially, and then maybe go to the priestess.
You're making a lot of
I mean-
assumptions on whether or not we can
I
even get in
mean-
there without getting shot.
I mean, the worms are completely separate in my head
Yeah.
again, so that's what I was hoping we would do first, but like, I think that's out the window right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the worms take a back
Goodbye,
seat right
money!
now.
We're
Well,
probably
we'll deal with that
getting
later.
gunned
The
down
worm
at
isn't
the-
just going to disappear.
Yeah.
No, it's going to
Well-
attack people. That's the choice we're making.
Then hopefully,
Renford can handle it. She'll be sure, you know.
All right.
Okay, you guys go try and get some help from the Bitter Hearts. Go see if they're like up in some business. Me and Lorelei and Asuriel are gonna go talk to Cooper.
we're going back.
Just Cooper. It's outside the town. It's outside the town.
That's the most horrible idea. There's so many hands. There's Cooper himself. There's a fucking giant cow underneath it, Acrio.
And we just
You're gonna die if you go back
angered
there.
him.
I
want to say that I want
bad.
to say that I want to go and interrogate him, Acrio. But if we go in there, we will die.
Okay, we go to the Bitter Hearts, wait till night, and then go kill some cows.
Yeah. If ever we're going to deal with Cooper, we're especially not doing it split up.
All right, to the
No,
Bitter
we're
Hearts.
better together. And
Ironic because I'm the one who said that, and then
yeah. Cillian is made of contradictions.
Retracing the steps that Asuriel and Val had just come back toward the main road, up the mountains. The sun eventually begins to set. The priestess Renfert stands outside the graph with her staff, the symbol of Avacyn, illuminated, watching the ground, watching the town for those who had promised to aid in this creature. She continues to watch. Myra sits at the table next to Casper with this meal that she has prepared, waiting for Uncle Cillian and the others as we drop the curtain on this week's session.